a championship play tip.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
For almost half a century, families, farmers, and mechanics across Alberta have trusted Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Why? Because we know cars and we know value. Hi, Lisa here. And whether it's keeping your work truck hauling or getting your teenager's first car back on the road, Ed's has the parts you need at prices you can afford. Reliable, affordable, local. That's Ed's Auto Salvage. With province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton, visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
Jason Gregor Show. On Sports 1440.
And Edmonton right back in this hockey game at 3-2.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
The receivers once to the left. Beck is looking that way. He's still looking. Touch up, running. Patterson back with his legs. Puts one in the top.
It's after 2 o'clock. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. You can check us out there. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. We got lots and lots to discuss on the show today. The Edmonton Oilers were victorious last night. Only the fourth time this season that the Edmonton Oilers were able to come back after giving up the first goal. And they actually gave up 3 goals in the first period. How many of you, after the first period, were not happy? We're thinking, oh, my goodness, this is a game they're going to lose. Not playing very well. It was a fairly accurate statement after 20 minutes. And then in the second and third period, the Oilers absolutely dominated. The Jets had 5 shots on goal in the final 40 minutes. 5. I think they had 1 good scoring chance. Now, they had another one, Lowry, but Bouchard knocked it off a stick, so it's not really a shot on goal. It doesn't end up being a scoring chance in my books, but They absolutely shut them down. And there was a stretch where the Jets went 20 minutes without a shot on goal. From the last 6 minutes of the second period to the first 14 minutes of the third period. In that time, the Oilers outscored them 3-0 and outshot them 16-0. Pretty good. So give the Oilers credit for a comeback win, and we will we'll see if they can pick up that elusive third consecutive victory. Haven't had one all year. But it faces them again tomorrow night against the Los Angeles Kings. So is 8th time a charm? 8 is enough? Whatever you want to use. Because the Oilers, here's how they've done in the previous 7 times. Now, there's one trend that has happened every game. I can tell you very simply what it is. They've given up the first goal. And when the Oilers give up the first goal this year, not very good. Now, last night, that was the exception because prior to last night, the Oilers had lost 10 in a row when they gave up the first goal. Not good. But last night, they ended that drought. So maybe that's something that'll turn around. They're now 4-15-3 when they allow the first goal. They are the second best team in the NHL, though, when they score the first goal at 18-1-3. So it's, one hand really good, other hand not so good. So here's what happened. Back on October 16th, they had won 2 in a row. They go into Long Island, trail 1-0. They actually took a 2-1 lead, but then eventually lost 4-2. October 25th at Seattle, trailed 2-0, lost 3-2. November 13th at Columbus, trailed 2-0, trailed 5-2. They did score 2 goals in the third. Remember that? 2 goals really quickly in the third period. Ended up losing 5-4. December 9th, the only home game they've had when they were on a 2-game winning streak. They trailed 3-0 to Buffalo. Then they stormed back, scored 3 goals, including Connor McDavid tying the game with 2 seconds remaining. But then they lost 33 seconds in overtime. They go to Montreal December 14th. They trailed 3-0, lost 4-1. They were brutal that game. Brutal that game. December 20th at Minnesota, trailed 2-0. They actually tied the game at 2, but then lost 5-2. And then December 27th, coming out of the Christmas break, trailed 1-0 in Calgary, tied it at 1, lost 3-2. So they're 0-6-1 when they've faced the opportunity to win 3 in a row. But tomorrow, they're taking on the LA Kings. The LA Kings are in Winnipeg tonight. And the Kings are fairly beat up. So the Oilers, when they score first on home ice this year, 8-0-1. And the only overtime loss, you probably remember it, opening game of the season against the Calgary Flames. Skinner kind of gifted them the tying goal, if you recall. So, since then, if the Oilers score first on home ice, lock it in. It's been a win. And the Kings, Kopitar, not sure if he's going to play. Doesn't look like he's going to play tonight. Moore is already on the IR. He's not playing this weekend. Yoel Armia is out. Corey Perry has got a family. There's an illness in his family, and so he's away from the team. Not sure when he'll join him. I'm guessing if those guys don't play tonight, probably unlikely they're going to play tomorrow. So, the Kings can't score to begin with, and now they're out with 4 of their forwards. So, on paper, things shape up. But never take it for granted because the LA Kings, this year, the Kings have had 6 sets of back-to-back games. They're not very good in the first game. They've never won yet. But in the second game of a back-to-back, they're 4-1-1. So even if they lose tonight in Winnipeg, the Oilers cannot take them for granted because the LA Kings have found a way to bounce back in the second half of a back-to-back. But the Oilers, they got to win. They had some nice goals. All right, what a play by Kapanen on the Podkolzin goal. I love that play. Looked like you're going around the net and then you go backdoor short side. Hellebuck had no chance. And Podkolzin, second on the Oilers in 5-on-5 goals with 10. He's tied with Nikita Kucherov for 40th in the NHL for 5-on-5 goals. It's a legit top 6 guy. Podkolzin's been good. Even though he went 9 games without a goal, I think Podkolzin's played pretty well. So last night, big goal for him. Then you had the McDavid goal. Great pass from Draisaitl. Great hands again for McDavid, who had another 5 shots on goal last night. What about the third goal? Really nice play from Nurse, finds Hyman. Great shot by Hyman. And then on the fourth goal, Bouchard, excellent defensive play. And then he comes up the ice. There's not many defensemen in the NHL. Heck, there's not many forwards in the NHL that make that shot that Bouchard did. Come down the pipe like that was an absolute laser. Perfectly placed, top shelf. And the Oilers win the game 4-3. Like when McDavid scored, like what I noticed last night, like the Oilers played with a little bit more emotion, right? And hey, give a lot of credit to Trent Frederick. That fight against Stanley being running around, Stanley's a huge human. Trent Frederick's not a fighter per se, but he actually did pretty well. Landed the best punch in that tilt last night. And that, I know some people think it doesn't matter. Anybody who plays knows that it adds juice to your team. It just does. And you know what? You go in the room, McDavid had scored, guys are fired up, right? Look at the reaction even when he came out of the penalty box early in the third period. They're fired up. So, hey, here's the thing. Trent Frederick right now, you've got to find a way to contribute. Of course, he'd prefer to contribute on the score sheet, get some goals, get some assists. I understand it. Everybody would like that. But at least like last night, you're like, hey, Frederick, he played a role in the game. So you need to do something when you're not scoring. Because you're not going to score very often, right? You're not going to score very often. So you have to find ways to contribute. And last night, Frederick contributed. And it's good for him. Maybe that gets him going. You never know. So you never know when it's going to happen, if it happens. But last night, you can give him credit. You at least noticed Frederick. Right? You're not going to notice him on the score sheet a ton. Right? Even when it's his best year, he's scoring like once every 5 games. Right? So that's not what he's there for. Totally. You got to bring some energy. Got to bring some emotion. And so last night, he did. He made an impact in the game. And maybe that can get him going. Sometimes you got to fight your way out of a slump. Literally and figuratively. So we'll see. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. You can text us in the inbox. 833-401-1440. I look at the Oilers and, you know, they're not going to make any lineup changes for the forwards for sure. Like, do you put Regula in? Maybe. The problem is if you put him in, unless you're going to ask him to play on his offside, he plays with Nurse. And I don't think he's a second pair guy. So I could see them saying, you know what, maybe we'll just wait. And, you know, Wallman comes in. Wallman's either going to play next Monday or Tuesday. I'm kind of leaning towards Tuesday only because when they bring guys off of injury, they rarely play them in back-to-back games the first 2 games. So that's kind of what I think we're going to see from the Oilers that way. But solid game last night. You know what? I didn't love the second goal by Pickard. Third goal was kind of more unlucky. I didn't like the first goal, but then the Oilers, they didn't give up anything. So that's good news for them. You'll be watching the out-of-town scoreboard tonight because the Oilers' next opponent is in Winnipeg to take on the Jets. Other story last night I do have to touch on. I don't know if any of you were watching the highlights or not, but did you see the game Josh Manson had? So Josh Manson gets in a tilt 2 minutes into the game. Then he scores the opening goal at the 10-minute mark. He had the Gordie Howe hat trick 22 minutes into the game last night. Fight, goal, assist. 22 minutes in. Awesome. Then he scores another goal, and then he gets another assist. Do you know that no player in NHL history has had the double Gordie Howe hat trick in a game? Like, I wish someone in Colorado would have known that. Because if I'm Josh Manson, I'm like, I'm fine in a fight. I don't care. That'd be unreal. 2 tilts, 2 goals, 2 assists. It's never happened in the NHL. Guys have had like a fight and 5 points, but never has a player in the NHL scored 2 goals, 2 assists, 2 tilts. God, it would have been unreal to see that last night. Owen Nolan one game had a scrap, a goal, and 5 assists. That's pretty good. Kirk Muller had a hat trick, 3 assists, and a fight. Not bad. Heck, Michel Goulet had a goal, 5 assists, and a fight one night. And so did Stan Mikita. A hattie, 3 assists, 6 points. So 4 players have actually had 6 points and a fight. but no one's ever had the 2 goals, 2 assists, 2 tilts. God, it would have been unreal. He also had like 5 hits, 4 block shots. He played unreal. And in case you're wondering, this will be my trivia question. And I'd love some, because this is not one you can just necessarily Google it. Who do you think registered the fastest Gordie Howe hat trick in a game? So he would have had to have a fight, a goal, and an assist. Any guesses? If you have one, text them in. 833-401-1440. We'll give you a few minutes just for fun. 833-401-1440. It was not an Oiler. I'll tell you that right now. Okay? A goal, assist, and a fight. The fastest Gordie Howe hat trick in NHL history. And not Gordie Howe. Good guess. I like that. Many of you were guessing Gordie Howe, but no, not Gordie Howe. Now, some of you might get the answer if you follow me on social media because I put it out there earlier today, but maybe you don't. So either way, it is I like to come up with some new little trivia things for fun. Now, before we go to break, also Declan Cougar filling in today for the Con Man. We got Donovan Paulson here in Declan's chair. Con Man is he's out. He's ailing. Went home. It's good. Get him out of the building. We don't need sickness. So, Con Man, we hope you're feeling better. He's probably having a hot tub as we speak. Maybe he's having a bath. Hey, Cons, Mr. Bath Boy. Learned that yesterday. The bath man is probably having a bath right now. Now, this is something that I think impacts a lot of, because I will say this. I have, and I've always said this. People get, oh, yeah, hockey culture is so bad. That I said, you know what? Our societal culture is bad in a lot of ways, right? Especially when it comes to sexual abuse. We're terrible at it. We have done very little to curb it, which sucks. But when it comes to people like, oh, hockey parents are crazy, I'm like, yeah, sure, some can be, but majority of them are great. I've coached for 6 years. I can tell you, I've never had a lunatic parent, knock on wood, but thankfully it's never happened. But I do know that there are issues in hockey, but it ain't just hockey. And this is a story, and I'm going to credit Steve Sandor, because he did all the reporting on it. He wrote it, the Edmonton Journal. And this story about the Edmonton Southwest United. It's a big soccer club, right? It's a pretty big one of the biggest ones in town. And so they had their U18 team. They had fundraised for 2 years to go to this soccer tournament held annually in the Toronto area. It's called the Sigma Showcase. You know what? You got to raise a lot of money to go to it. So for 2 years, right? Now, I can have a whole question as to why you fundraise for something 2 years in advance, which means you guarantee that the same kids have to play on your team 2 years in a row from the age of 15, 16, so no one else can improve to make the team. But that's another conversation for another day. Anyway, at the last second, the trip got canceled because their coaches got fired. And you're like, oh, that's not good. Well, why did their coaches get removed? Well, so this goes back to October 19th at the Jasper Place Bowl when they were coaching. And guess what? A parent came up to their coach on the sidelines and started berating him because he had substituted his kid out of the game 20 minutes into the game. Now, you know who the parent happened to be? The president of the association. Are you joking? Southwest United's president, Nishat George Mancy is his name. He got into a verbal and physical altercation with the coaching staff. He got suspended from the club, but he got suspended so he couldn't go and attend games. And guess what? I want to read that because this is the part that absolutely blows me away in the article. So, and I'll get to the coach in a second, but in the meeting with the parents, the association said, quote, George's actions were as a parent, so there is no need to suspend him from his presidency. Now, at the same time, he threatened the coaches and he fired them on the spot. So wait a sec. You're claiming his actions were as a parent. Name one parent in minor sports that can fire coaches. Hey, you know what? I don't like you, Bob. You're out. Does that ever happen? Nope. You know who can do it? The president. And even then, it shouldn't be a one-man decision. So here's Like, I'm stunned. I get so many emails from the soccer associations in town, and it's wild to me, man. And then you read that the decisions of this George Mancy guy, and guess what? Shockingly, according to Steve in his article, Mancy, is somebody that, he's volunteered his time, and that's all great. But there's complaints with Sting. They ended up having to go to court over leaving and different things like that. Like, there's just lots of things here. He had to, him and his ex-wife were sued by North American Powertrain Components because it was a bookkeeper. Judgment found he'd given himself a raise, right? Done some, shady things. But here's my question. How can you claim the president of your association is, quote, a parent? And then that guy who's the president, don't you think, because who writes out the standards of your organization? Your president, right? So if the president says, here's our standards, we don't want parents to do that. But then when he does it, he can fire a coach and that's okay. And he gets suspended as a parent. Well, why did he get suspended as a parent? Then how was he able to fire the people? Like, I sent an email off to Southwest. I haven't had a response because I'd love someone to come on to talk about it. Because I keep hearing and getting emails about a lot of the stuff that goes on in this. Like, I'm not in the soccer community. Right? Like, my son plays, local soccer in St. Albert. It's super fun. It's great. It's nothing serious. He doesn't love soccer that much. So, but to me, when you're a minor hockey association, a minor soccer association, a minor basketball association, there's a responsibility. How can anyone believe that this association is, if I'm a coach, why would I want to coach there? Right? Why would I want to coach there? It doesn't make sense. Right? The coach was a former FC Edmonton player, Michael Cox. And he had two assistants, young guys, Max Matthews, Steven Spencer. And Mancy and a group of teens surrounded Cox, yelling at him about his decision to sub out Mancy's son. Right? Supposedly, according to Eyewitness, Michael remained calm, largely non-responsive, looked to walk away. There's actual video of Mancy saying, quote, "Talk to me again. You won't be coaching in Edmonton again." Oh, doesn't sound like he was acting as a parent right there, because most of a parent wouldn't have that, quote, power. Right? Meanwhile, the players are on the bench. They're kind of crying. Their coach is out. And now the president's still there. Southwest United, I'm sorry, but you should be embarrassed. Who's ever on that board should rethink what you're doing. Because if we want the people on the board and the presidents, they should be leaders. They should be leaders. And when you have video evidence and you have eyewitness evidence, and he didn't deny what he did, you suspended him as a parent, but he's the president of your association. Can't be both. And if the president is doing that, like, he just doesn't stop being a president, right? You don't just get to say, oh, today I'm just a parent. It's not how it works, right? With a title comes responsibility. That's just how it goes, right? I've talked about it on my show many times. Lots of people can get an impaired driving and keep their job. If I got an impaired driving, my job's done. And I know that. So guess what? I don't drink and drive. It's pretty simple. You have a choice. But you got a president of your association acting like that, berating a coach on the sideline for subbing out a player. Think about it. For subbing out a player who happened to be his kid. Like, what a joke. Absolute joke. That is Steve Sandor. Great job in reporting that story, because I hope it doesn't go away. That's why I wanted to bring it more, because you know what? The associations, a lot of times, let's just not talk about it. No, why don't you address the fact? You can't claim that he acted as a parent when you fired the coaches. And he threatened them, because parents don't have the power to fire the coach, especially for subbing out a player. You're allowed to sub out a player. You got 16 kids on your roster. Not everyone plays the whole game. It's just how it goes. Quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates, If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane. Available for all your lifting and equipment needs. Specializing in selling and servicing cranes, get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:25. We continue on the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game and try it out. Whether you want to use a casino, live dealer, lottery, instance, and more, check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. Every hour, hundreds of popular games and jackpots worth millions that stay right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. Oilers had a very optional skate today. Basically a day off. Guys who didn't play last night took a twirl, but that was about it. And they will get ready to take on the Los Angeles Kings tomorrow night. The Kings are in Winnipeg tonight, and they are short-staffed. And Trevor Moore's on IR. He's not playing. Kopitar not on the trip. He's not playing. I don't know about Corey Perry's status. We'll find out now as we go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's. Do you like things extra cheesy? The new double cheesy melt has arrived. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. Only available for a limited time at McDonald's. As Dan Greenspan joins us, a beat reporter for the LA Kings. And Dan, we know that Kopitar and Moore aren't going to play on the trip. Is Armia on the trip, or is he also out?
Everything I've read is that he is not with the team. Corey Perry is still not with the team. So it's going to be the same 11-7 alignment they used the other night against San Jose.
Okay. The Kings, they still struggle to score. They're very good at defending, and that's kind of their MO. It's been their MO for really over a decade. They won 2 Stanley Cups that way. You look at the season, they had a little bit of a slow start. They're starting to come on, but obviously these injuries are somewhat of an issue. How would you evaluate the first half for the Kings?
I would say it's been slightly on the lower end of what was expected. look, they're in position to make the playoffs. Nobody expected them. I don't think anybody reasonably had them as like legit Stanley Cup contenders. I don't think anyone had them crashing out of the playoffs. So they're about where they are. They had the long scoring drought. They've generated some more offense the last few games. They've gotten a lot, especially out of a third line, by putting Kevin Fiala, Andrei Kuzmenko together with Alex Turcotte following the Phil Deneau trade. That trio is really generating a lot. Obviously, Fiala is the team's best non-Adrian Kempe offensive creator, and putting him with Kuzmenko, Turcotte handling the dirty work, that group's worked together. But on the whole, look, I don't think anybody realistically thought this team could really achieve on the level of, the three elite teams in the Central or even Vegas or Edmonton. So I'd say about where they are.
Quentin Byfield, man, you watch him, you look at him, you're like he teases you to think there's more there. He's got 6 goals in 41 games. That's obviously below where they would want from him. 24 points, third on the team. How has Byfield played? And, is this just kind of who he is, or is there more for him to give on a nightly basis?
It feels like he should have about twice as many goals at least. He's just had some really weird luck. It feels like he's still not like an elite top end number one, but it feels like he has taken more of that role this season. And certainly in terms of the defensive matchups, he's doing a lot more. But yeah, he hasn't been able to get the offensive luck. I do think that if you stuck him with Adrian Kempe or Kevin Fiala on a more consistent basis, he would have more points. But yeah, he's still growing. He's still developing. He's a young guy. We forget that because he's been around for so long. Because the circumstances with COVID, he was able to get with the Kings and get in the AHL when normally he would have been still in juniors for another couple of years probably. So yeah, the problem is you start looking ahead to next year with no Andrei Kopitar, who's been the Kings locked in undeniable number one for so long, and you start looking at the depth chart and it's not great. And you'd like to see him take that next step, ideally going into next season where he will be the lead guy.
Well, he's going to have to be, right? And so that's a real big concern for them, no question. And, Kopitar, obviously, now the injury, they say it's a short time. He's not on the road trip. You definitely don't want to see him, go out and end his career, banged up too much. What are you hearing is potentially how long he might be out?
Honestly, we should see him back within the next week.
Oh, okay.
He left when he got hurt against Minnesota the other day. It was, I want to say Wednesday. I've completely lost track of what day of the week it is. But when he got hurt, he left the building on his own. No walking boot, no crutches, no apparent knee brace, nothing that would indicate anything long term. So, yeah, he's still got the chance to. I think he's 8 points away, I want to say, from becoming the franchise all-time leader in points. He's been such a stalwart, such a great, legendary two-way player, such a great representative of the game. You'd like to see him go out in his best form.
Yes, 100%. He's been a massive figure for the Kings, no question. He's a surefire Hall of Famer. In 3 years' time, once he's reached that threshold for being out. But if you look at Ken Holland and the Kings and their need they got to add some offense. I don't think there's any doubt. They're going to have lots of money in the offseason, but lately there hasn't been any free agents available in the offseason. So what's your expectation? You think Holland's going to make some trades here to try to add some offense? Is there any chance, depending on where they sit in a month, could he possibly subtract?
I think if you look at, they're not going to trade their first round picks. So I don't think they're going to do anything drastic. The best case scenario would probably be moving the pick they picked up from Montreal recently, for Phil Deneau. Like, you look at who they have, Warren Fogle would be a great value to a real contender, but you don't have a ton of pieces that are like obvious. Deneau was the obvious piece that you could move. And so I think they're kind of going to be either hockey trade, move a lower end pick, or stand pat. But yeah, you look at by the decision to re-sign Adrian Kempe at a pretty good market value, all things considered, when it looked like he was going to be the top guy available in free agency next year, that also limits your options because, if Kempe had moved on, you'd look at where you were and say, okay, maybe it is time for a rebuild. You won't have Kopitar. Drew Doughty's competitive fires are up from the Four Nations, and I'm sure after he gets back from Milan from the Olympics, he'll want to. He won't waste his time if he doesn't think the Kings can contend next year. He's running out of time. I think he'd seriously push for a move if they don't look like a meaningful contender. And you'd think maybe it is time to reset. But yeah, in terms of the leading up to the deadline, I don't expect anything major. Of course, now, we'll turn around a week from now and they'll make some shocking giant move just to spite me.
Now in LA, the Ducks really haven't been, much of a consideration for many years, but the Ducks are competitive again. Is that rivalry does it heighten? Do you notice it in LA when suddenly like these two teams I think they're separated by 1 point, right? Like it's been a long time since both teams have been good. So does this rivalry get heightened? Is it more noticeable now that the Ducks are not just a cellar dweller?
There's definitely some juice. Definitely the addition of Corey Perry, who, was for so long public enemy number one to Kings fans because of how he played for Anaheim. Just the perfect guy that if he's on your team, you love him because he gets under the opponent's skin. If you're on the opposing team, you hate his guts. And he has been, first off, he's taken to LA so well. He's not with the team this weekend, unfortunately. Got an illness in the family, so he's got non-roster status and is away from the group right now. But yeah, he's been a tremendous spark plug, really giving them a boost on the power play, really giving them a boost in terms of just attacking the dirty areas down in front of the paint. And it was a real question how Kings fans were going to take to him, and it was iffy. He got jeered a little bit on opening night. It took him a while, but as soon as he started scoring and producing and just making plays, he's taken to it, and definitely his presence has shaken things up in reigniting the Kings-Ducks rivalry.
Awesome, Dan. Really appreciate this, man. Have yourself a great day. Enjoy the weekend.
Thanks so much. Enjoy the game.
So there you go. That's Dan Greenspan. So Oiler fans, no Kopitar, no Moore, no Armia, and we don't know about Corey Perry. There's an illness in his family. That's why he took a leave of absence, so he's not playing tonight in Winnipeg. I guess there's a chance that he would join the team tomorrow, but I'm guessing probably not. So the Kings right now are they're a team that struggles to score to begin with, and they're going to go with 11-7. That's all they're carrying right now. So you got Lafayette centering Kempe and Taylor Ward, Byfield between Fogle and Jeff Malott, Turcotte with Kuzmenko and Fiala, and then you've got they did call up Cole Gutman, so him and Andre Lee and Samuel Helenius, so they will have 12 forwards. And then you got Mickey Anderson, Drew Doughty, Edmondson and Clark, Dumoulin and Ceci. So their defense is intact, but their offense, they just mentioned. So you got Jeff Malott on the second line. You got Taylor Ward on their, well, not really. I would argue the Turcotte, Fiala, Kuzmenko is probably the first line at this point. So, Andre Lee, Cole Gutman, Jeff Malott, Taylor Ward. Now, those guys will be fired up to play. You can never take a team for granted, but my goodness, if there was ever a time for the Oilers to win 3 in a row, it should be tomorrow night. And then they would be the 31st team in the NHL to win 3 in a row and get on a run. I know we got some people, Gregor, why do you care about the 3 in a row as long as they win 2 out of 3? Well, sure, if you think you're always going to do it. But here's the thing. All you got to do is look at the standings. Okay? The Edmonton Oilers are tied for the lead in their division. Well, in points. But Vegas is actually ahead of them. Look at the points percentage. The Oilers have 50 points. They have a .568 points percentage. That would be third in the Central. Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, they're all at 826, 682, 667. Then go out east. Carolina, 648. Philadelphia, 619. Islanders, 602, all in one division. Montreal, 636. Tampa, 655. Detroit, 622. You know what they've all done? They've had winning streaks, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. You can't tell me it doesn't matter. It shows an inability to be consistent for more than 2 consecutive games. That's what it's been. It's been a problem. And so now, have the Oilers played better since December 4th? Yes. I don't discount that. But they still haven't won 3 in a row. Every time they get close, then they lay an egg again. They've yet to put together 3 consecutive performances that are good. So you can't tell me it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Of course it matters. Let's go take a quick break. We'll come back. Lori and Munzer will join us. Big day. Lots of Olympic announcements, of course. The women's hockey team was announced. They got quite a few new faces going a little bit younger, which I think they needed to do after watching them kind of get spanked by the U.S. Something that never happens. They got swept in that Summit Series. That doesn't happen very often. And also lots of other sports. The excitement of it. We're basically a month away from the Olympics. So we'll get some thoughts on Olympian, on the preparation 1 month out. Next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpot's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense. The BCHL All-Star Game is coming to the Thompson Family Arena in Spruce Grove. The league's best players will go head-to-head in 2 exciting games, January 16th and 17th. The BCHL College Prospects Game takes place on Friday, January 16th at 7 p.m., while the premier matchup will see Canada take on the world on Saturday, January 17th at 7:30 p.m. For ticket inquiries and excellent group ticket packages, go to tickets.sgsaints.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
For almost half a century, families, farmers, and mechanics across Alberta have trusted Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Why? Because we know cars and we know value. Hi, Lisa here. And whether it's keeping your work truck hauling or getting your teenager's first car back on the road, Ed's has the parts you need at prices you can afford. Reliable, affordable, local. That's Ed's Auto Salvage. With province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton, visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian and 69-cent wings, plus play, score, and win every game. See more at ontherocksyeg.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
How are you? Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Hey, Gregs, I heard your guest say that Kopitar is 8 points from being the all-time franchise leader. Who's the current leader in LA? Robitaille, king of Fort Nasty? No, it is Monsieur Marcel Dion. He passed Robitaille quite a way. Robitaille had 1,155 points, I think. And Dion's at 1,307 with LA, and Kopitar actually needs 9 points to break the record because he's at 1,299. So 8 points to tie, 9 points to beat him. So Gretzky, by the way, had 918 points in 539 games with the Kings. So not bad at all. Obviously, you know what he did in Edmonton with over 1,600 points in 669 games. So pretty good. Let's go In the Mind, brought to you by Action Electrical, the most versatile electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions: project, service, testing, ultrasonic. When it comes to the solar division, of course, for commercial and real estate, and for service, 24/7 emergency service, certified uniform technicians. They can help you out. actionelectrical.net. And we're joined by gold medalist Lori Ann Munzer, who, of course, won in the Summer Olympics. But anytime the Olympics come around, even though it's been a few decades since you won, Lori Ann, I'm sure there's still the excitement. It probably brings back a lot, especially when you're a gold medalist, probably brings back a lot of good memories for sure. The preparation. So we're literally a month out from the start of the Olympics.
28 days.
What, I know some athletes will start to go over, depending on where they're at, climatize themselves with the time zone and everything. How early do you go over?
Well, I think it all depends on, are you team, are you pairs, are you individual? And it's a little bit different for each sport and each athlete. I know that with the time zone change, you probably want to go over with a minimum of 2 weeks, if not 4 or more. If you're able to, the better it is, because you're able to just make those adjustments. Some of the athletes are really slow at bouncing back of going, okay, well, Milan is how many hours ahead of us? What are they, about 8?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is exactly.
I think it's 8 or 9.
Yeah. And to be honest, well, you're shifting ahead.
Mhm.
So, right now it's almost 3:00. So it's almost 11:00, time for dinner over there. So there's a few different changes.
Alberta is 8 hours behind Milan.
Okay. That's perfect then.
So 6 hours for people out east.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just your, I guess, biorhythms, your natural rhythm. You're going to have high times, low times. When are you the best energy wise? And then also looking at, when are you competing? When are you racing? That plays a big thing into it. Plus also your training times, because here in Canada or wherever it is that you're training, you usually get carte blanche. You can train whenever you want, as long as you want.
Yeah.
However, when you go to the Olympics, you have got a finite. You've got a finite. It's not infinite, but you've got a finite amount of time. Like when I was in Athens, we only had a 2-hour track time, and it was calculated. If you were on the track a minute before, 10 minutes before, they would yank you off.
Really?
Literally. And then if you went over, it was like they were, waving the flags, calling you off, trying to get you down. And sometimes you just wanted to squeak that one more effort because of the rest period time. That was really important, but you didn't have a choice. And it was just, okay, it's do or die. This is what I've got. Sometimes the training was first thing in the morning when, an afternoon is a really nice time because, well, it's just the nicest part of the day, especially being outdoors.
Right.
But it's like, okay, you're going to have a number of, we call them distractions that you have to contend to. Number one, you're at the Olympics, like, holy moly, that's a whole other ball game.
Yeah.
Number two, you're in the Olympic Village. Number three, where's the cafeteria, right? Where's the laundry? When I was in Athens, when I was in Sydney in 2000, they had the internet trailers, and you would literally go to like these, they were like the ATCO trailers.
Yeah.
And they had computers. I mean, we didn't have the cell phones that we had today or the technology, but it was different things. So you start to get into the routine, like what's in the village? How do you get around? How far is the cafeteria? In Sydney, Australia, I think there was like 7 cafeterias. There was one that was open 7/24, but there was literally a bus that would drive you around the village to take you wherever you needed to go.
Yeah, it's interesting because I talked to Connor McDavid about, and it sounds like hockey, speed skating, and figure skating are kind of like in their own hub. And so they're not in like a village because like it's 6 hours away to some of the other things. Like it's really spread out, this one. So it probably won't have that same experience of some Olympics where you have everybody together, which can be, it can just be exciting, right? It does. If you're part of Team Canada, like, yeah, you're part of the hockey team, but you're a figure skater. All of a sudden those figure skaters are high-fiving the snowboarders and, which is awesome. And you get to know different people, but you're part of the team. And if one person wins an Olympic or one team wins an Olympic medal, everybody's fired up in your house, right? So, I think not having them all together kind of sucks in a way, right? I think a little bit, but
that's another perspective too, because it's like, well, what is the Olympic experience? Do they have 2 athlete villages? Do they have 2 Olympic villages? And I think the answer is probably yes. I mean, I haven't seen all of the logistics.
Yeah, it sounds like they have a few, according to Connor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like, well, are the venues ready? Are they all ready? And some of them.
Yeah, they're always last minute. I saw that Chris Johnson was tweeting out they're playing a hockey game on the rink today, doing some practice stuff. So they got a month. Like as usual, people might have overreacted a little bit. Shocking. But, so they were running through it like, yeah, they had to stop because there was a hole in one of the places on the ice. Well, yeah, you got a month to figure it out. So that's why you do these sorts of things. So
totally.
Now maybe some of the stands might not be complete, so that's not ideal. But
you got even more time.
Yeah,
you got even more time. As long as you're ready an hour before the gates open, you're okay.
Yeah,
and as long as everything's bolted in, like literally.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's like, okay, if there isn't the seating, you can always stand, as long as it's safe.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, like there's and really not to be selfish, but from an athlete's perspective, you're like, you know what? If they have 7,000 seats or 17,000 seats, it doesn't change my preparation as an athlete.
No, it doesn't. The one most important thing, though, about the venues is as an athlete, when you're waiting or, on deck like in baseball, is where are you? And is that area, cordoned off? Is it set? Is it safe? Is it ample enough for you to warm up?
And then what about testing? Do you only do testing after you compete, or do you have to do testing because the random drug testing? So how does that work at the Olympics? Is it only happen after you compete in your event?
It all depends. They can show up anytime, anywhere.
Okay.
Anyway, they can knock on your door because there's different ways that they can show up. Sometimes it's the blood testing. Sometimes it's the pee testing. Usually they won't bother you when you're in training. They'll catch you before or after. There are guidelines around that, but you're on deck for that at any time, right? Whether it's after your event, once it's all done, typically the Canadians get chosen because we're really clean, right? It's a good thing. I don't know. For me, it worked out in my favor because I had 2 events. I did the 500 meter. So for me, that was the warm up. It was 2 laps around the track, 500 meters, half a kilometer. And I was the random athlete that was chosen. And into doping control, I went like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You can show up at my house. They have. And gave them the sample. And it was really cool because Anna Mears was there, 19-year-old Aussie wonder kid. I've watched her since she was 14 years old at the Commonwealth Games, and she had set an Australian record, a world record, and Olympic record at 19 years old. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, what was I doing when I was 19? I wasn't doing cycling or anything like that. And I asked to see her medal because I thought, like, one, I was so happy for her, but two, I thought, I want to see what this thing looks like. And I was holding it, and my hand, Jason, it got so warm, and the energy from it, you have no idea. And just like, I was absolutely speechless. And I handed it to her and I said, thank you. She was the random doping control athlete when we finished the sprints, which was 3 days. And she goes, Lorianne, I should never have given you my gold medal when we were in doping control after I won the 500. I said, well, why is that? She says, you ruined my set. Because her goal was 2 Olympic gold medals. She got a bronze, and she
actually thought handing you the medal somehow impacted her?
Well, she thought about it afterwards, going, well, maybe I shouldn't have done this.
Oh, wow.
And it's just, she's an incredible woman. She's gone off to do so many great things with Australia and the Olympic team. She's an incredible woman. She's an incredible athlete. And just, she was one of those athletes that got into the system as a 14-year-old. I mean, maybe she was in it beforehand. I don't know, because they have the Australia Institute of Sport. And she's just an awesome woman, awesome athlete, on the bike, off the bike. And she's just doing really great things.
Now, we get there, a month out. And I was listening to Nathan McKinnon do an interview. I can't remember what day it was. And he was talking about, for him, he actually lifts heavy weights, very low reps on game days. Because it makes him feel like stronger. He's been reading up on it and gets him stronger.
Yep.
So the training regime for athletes, because your whole goal is to ramp up and be at your peak at the Olympics, right? That's the whole goal. And like, it's crazy because it's like a 4-year goal, right? And yeah, you have every year, but that's ultimately the goal. You go to the World Championships, but it's still not the Olympics. So now you're a month out, Lorianne. How much training are you doing? Like, would you be doing like McKinnon does, heavy weights, but like low reps? What do you think athletes, like, what's the best? And does it vary from sport to sport on how you lift weights?
I think it varies from sport to sport because it all depends on, are you like a sprinter, explosive athlete, or are you endurance? Like the hockey games, those are endurance.
Like the marathon runners aren't lifting a lot of heavy weights.
No. And this is the interesting part, is 28 days out from today's is opening ceremony's first day. And you're actually wanting to go the opposite way. You're wanting to taper because you have to go and reduce the amount. Number one, it makes you bananas in your head because it's like, well, I'm used to go all the time. So it's actually reducing it. And this is where less is more.
Okay.
But then as you start to get about a week out, that's when you start to ramp it up again. I'm thinking with McKinnon there, with just the, heavy weights, a couple low reps, there's a certain feeling associated with him that puts him instantly into that winner circle, that champion mindset. It's not going to take away from his workouts or his performance when it comes to ice time. And it's just, there's a fine line. A lot of athletes, they end up piling more and more and more. And this is part of the problem I see with sport, amateur sport, is some of the sports haven't decided who is going. Like, look at the women's team. They get announced today, 28 days out. You're typically at a deficit because it's not giving you a lot of time.
But they're playing right now in the PWHL, right? Most of their players.
They are. And part of that is preparation. So if you prepare as if you're going, it's part of your preparation, which is a really, really good thing. But if you're not really sure, it's that, doubt can jump in, or it's like, no, I can go. And I've always said to all my athletes, prepare as if you're going. Make that decision in your mind that you're going to perform at your best, play at your best, because this is where the mental game takes over versus the physical game. And this is where, as you're coming off of the physical performance, your mental stuff does not necessarily ramp up. You don't necessarily overdo it or tack on 10 more 5-minute segments of going through and running through, the drills that you're doing, or the moves, the maneuvers, whatever it is it's business as usual. You end up doing distraction therapy a lot more. So one, to calm the monkey mind, and number two, to still keep you in the game where, yeah, you are hungry. And this is the time where you really have to hold back on the physical performance. Don't overanalyze it from the mental performance, because you'll blow your mind cells out and you'll tire yourself out even more. But it's just schedule yourself so you know where you are, what you're doing throughout the day, so that your mind is at bay and it's okay.
Is there one Olympic sport that you watch closest at the Winter Olympics?
All of them. I'm usually glued to, the live streams, whatever I can.
But is there
to
one
get
you
to.
like better?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Did you ever do any winter sports?
Tobogganing, but I don't think that's anything like
Yeah, I guess
luge
you're gonna lose.
or
Yeah,
skeleton.
but not really. You're more so like, if you could have done another sport at the Summer Olympics, is there one you were like, I wish I would have been, because it's hard to commit to multiple sports, right? It's very hard to do. Like Claire Hughes did it later on, which is ridiculous. Like
But it's not ridiculous.
No, but
she started with speed skating.
It just
She
shows that
started.
she's still pretty skilled, though, right?
Oh
Like
my
to do speed
gosh,
skating and
absolutely.
cycling, and I could see how like the leg strength you need in both, right?
But it's complementary.
Yes, for
It's
sure.
like winter,
Yeah.
summer.
If you
winter,
knew
summer.
if you knew how to skate, right?
Yeah.
Like skating is riding a bike is a skill. Like most of us can ride a bike. Now, most of us can't ride a bike like at an elite level, of course, right? But skating still requires some, like, you can't just pick up skating. Like, you could be, if you're really
thought you
strong.
could.
Yeah.
I thought you could. I went out with Jane Lagasse, and we were in Wainwright, and we were on a rink outdoors, and I'm like, oh, this isn't that hard. I got on, and I think I wiped out about 50 times.
Yeah.
And you take the slap shot, and I totally missed the puck, and it's like, yeah, that's a lot harder. And it's like, you watch these athletes,
Yeah.
and it's not the first time they've done it, but because they've been doing it for so long, it's in them. And that's what we all hope, as armchair athletes or recreational sport athletes. And it's just, get out there, try it. Get out there and try it, because it's a lot harder
Yeah.
than you think.
Like, there are some sports that you can pick up later on in life, because like skating's a very skill, like it's a skill to be able to skate, right?
It is.
Now the thinking the game and the quick twitch muscles, well, that's what it is. That's part of it. But if you don't have the skating background, it's kind of hard to do. But we see in football, lots of people get football, lots of people in soccer, in cycling,
Totally.
right? Speed skating, well, not speed skating, but cycling. And skiing is another one that I don't think you could do. Like, I'm going to start skiing at a later age. Like,
You can, but it usually doesn't end up very well.
well,
It doesn't
exactly.
end up
Yeah.
very well.
Like, I actually saw a video today of Bodie when he lost a ski and he skied down the whole mountain on one ski. And on the course, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, and that was not X Games.
No.
It was just, sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
But then look at all the training that he's done,
yeah.
right? It's just like the
You could just see his
proprioceptor
balance
muscles.
and everything. And I was just
Yep.
like, you know how hard that is? Like,
It's
really hard.
It's extremely hard on two skis, let
Yes.
alone just one.
Yeah, like that was one of the coolest videos. I think I put it up on my Instagram, and I was just like, I can't believe this. Like, you're watching him and how he's even turning, and then he's trying to accelerate over. And he's on like a mountain, like right on the track.
Yep.
And I was looking at his time, and his time ended up being like 5 seconds slower than what the other guy. 5, that's it, on one ski. I'm like, this is unreal.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
it was one of the most unique athletic things I've ever seen.
Totally.
Yeah.
I saw a video, cycling wise, downhill rider, and his chain broke right at the start. So he could not pedal. And he ended up winning the event just because of how he flowed into it, how he moved, his balance and everything. And it's just nuts. So it's like,
Yeah, it must have
worst
been a
case-
pretty steep hill.
It was. Well, it's downhill, it's DH. So it's
Yeah.
really, really
Oh.
crazy steep. And he's doing all these jumps.
So
But
then
it-
I ask afterwards, do they need the pedals when they do downhill now?
they
just
need the pedals, but they don't
need the
necessarily
brake-
need the
chain.
chain.
Yeah.
The chain, right?
The chains. Yeah, the pedals are for balance for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. But it's like for that drive, and it's just like, it's the core, it's the balance, and it's just, you just give her everything that you can and hope for the best.
Lori-Ann, great stuff. We will chat with you next Friday.
All right, take care.
That is Lori-Ann Munzer. It's in the Mind, brought to you by Action Electrical. Let's get to Declan Kruger Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Late night in the NHL, just 3 games. Chicago hosts Washington, Kings in Winnipeg, and the Blues heading to Utah to play. The Mammoth lone game in the PWHL has Vancouver playing Ottawa, and the Team Canada women's Olympic roster was announced earlier today. Emmerance Mashmeyer of Brunheim, Alberta, the lone Albertan on the squad. At the junior level, Oil Kings continue their road trip with a stop in Saskatoon. In the BCHL, Saints host Okotoks out in Spruce Grove, while Chilliwack plays the Crusaders in Sherwood Park. In the AJ, Devon, Drayton Valley, and Bonnyville all with home games just outside the city. Toronto Raptors back at it tonight, taking on the Celtics from TD Garden, and semifinal number 2 in the college football playoff will go at 5:30 between Indiana and Oregon. Baseball news, free agent outfielder Max Kepler has been suspended for 80 games by the MLB after a positive test for a performance-enhancing substance. Finally, collegiate sports in the city tonight, Bears and Pandas basketball host U of S at the Saville Center beginning at 6. Griffins men's hockey host Trinity Western at the DCA with a puck drop at 7. And the Oaks men's team in action playing Concordia, puck drop at 6 at the Nate Arena. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25. The MVP of sports bars, and in the center bar. Plus, catch this fall's biggest games. Every goal, every tackle, every home run. River Creek is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreekresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantor. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.308, welcome back. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely Friday afternoon. And you got big plans for the weekend. You got maybe an Oilers game you're going to tomorrow. Edmonton Minor Hockey Week begins tonight. Good luck to all the teams. Of course, Sports 1440, a big partner with the Quick Card Edmonton Minor Hockey Week, goes tonight until next Sunday. Remember, it's a fun tournament. Everyone gets excited, but parents, calm yourself. Calm. This is not, you don't need to lose it. Don't lose it as officials. Don't lose it as a coach. Coaches, don't go crazy and, bench kids, ruin their experience just so you can win, right? It's tough enough. I get it. You get to overtime, it's different, right? Not everybody can play when it's 1-on-1 and 2-on-2 and 3-on-3. I get that, but I've never understood the concept to start, playing your top two lines in the second period, for goodness sakes. Like, what are we doing? It's U9, it's U11, it's U13. I don't care. It's development, right? They're good enough to make your team. They're good enough to play. I don't think you need to win that bad to ruin to have half your team sitting on the bench. And sadly, that happens every now and then. So there's always, everybody needs a little bit of reset, a little bit of reset. So there you go. Coming up later on in the program today, we will hear from Colin Schock, the head coach of the Condors. Man, they got some guys playing really well down there. Hudson, Szymanski. Hey, what about Connor Unger, the goaltender? Came up from the ECHL. This guy's killing it. So it's a good problem, man. The Oilers have some young players that you feel like if they come up here, they'll contribute. Now, I always try to calm your jets. Just because you light it up in the American League doesn't mean you're going to light it up here. But the good news is they got some young guys doing it. It's a little bit different, 28-year-old who maybe just plays the power play. We saw Hudson. I think he can skate well enough to be here, right? Look at Ike Howard. He's going to get an extended look with Adam Henrique out of the lineup right now. So we'll talk to Colin Schock about that. We got Tater in the 2-minute warning. Craig Button will be by. Speck, Low Tide. So busy show. Now, Declan Kruger, of course, is here filling in for the comment. We'll get to Deck in a second. The Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where tonight, Lotto Max, $55 million and 6 Max Millions. So get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Good luck to you. Good luck. Also, the Western Max is $2 million tonight. You can get your tickets there as well. That Ole Miss. Oh my. That was an entertaining game, back and forth in the fourth quarter. And so here's my question. So the SEC, 3 years in a row now, they don't have anybody in the championship game. I think they are 1-8 versus the Power Four in bowl games and 0-3 in the playoffs. So is the SEC were they overrated for such a long time based on just, this is how, if you're in this conference, you have to be better. Are we seeing that maybe that's not the case? Or is it simply the fact that the rules have changed so much?
I think it's a combination of both. Like, I give the SEC credit that for a long time, decade plus, they were the deepest conference and they were the strongest conference, but there had kind of always been a tongue-in-cheek joke that it's like, hey, they were the best and the deepest and the strongest conference because they were illegally paying players. And now that everyone's allowed to pay players, the playing field has leveled. And I do think there's a large degree of truth to that. I still think week in, week out, the SEC, it's deep and it's got a lot of history and talent. And that whole adage of it means more, that is true. But there is no question it has fallen off as the premier league in college football. Like, I don't think it is at all. I think the Big Ten is. This is evidence of it, I should say. Like the SEC, it's tough. It's tough to kind of qualify it because it's everything's so different in college football. I'll wrap it up and just say, to answer your question, no, it's not the best conference in college football anymore. It's because the playing field has been leveled by NIL, and this kind of notion that we just need to rank all these SEC teams because we think they're really good. It's been dying for the past 3 years, but now it's completely dead.
Yeah. Well, the game tonight should be a heck of a game. Indiana, they did beat Oregon once. It's hard to beat the same team twice in football. I understand it, but man, Indiana has rolled over everybody. They've really dominated in the area of football that if you dominate, historically, you win the line of scrimmage. And that's where I look at Oregon and say, I'm not sure what they can do that's suddenly going to make them better on the line of scrimmage than Indiana.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you watch the first game they played, you might look at it and be like, oh, tied 20-20 and 30-20 final score. It's not that bad. But if you actually watch the game, like, Indiana just bullied them consistently. And all Indiana has done since that matchup with Oregon is go and bully teams worse. And I think Oregon's a very, very good team, very talented team. I think they're probably the second best team in the country. Indiana just happens to be the best team in the country, and they got to play them again. And there's nothing I've seen from Oregon that makes me think Indiana won't do exactly what they did in the first matchup. Like, all they've done since that first matchup is bully teams worse. And they already bullied you en route to a double-digit victory in your home stadium. And I was thinking, just as kind of an extension of that, like Ruben Bain and Akeem Messidor for Miami last night, they had the premier defensive ends. They had one combined pressure on Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss's quarterback. And all I could think to myself is like, man, if you guys have one combined pressure against Ole Miss, like, good luck against Indiana or Oregon. Best of luck to you guys. Enjoy that one. But yeah, the game tonight, Indiana, they have the formula. I don't see a reason they can't do it again. I'll be pulling for Oregon, but Indiana it's a bad matchup for them.
Yeah. We got a lot of text line in 833-401-1440 on college ball. Guys, I'm not a big college fan, but I have to say I really enjoyed that game last night, and I'll be watching tonight. That one comes from Doug. Hey, Greg's, any update on Wallman? Any chance he plays tomorrow? No chance. Zero that he plays tomorrow. It's either going to be Monday in Chicago or Tuesday in Nashville, and I'm only going to base this on what they've done every other time. Like, to bring him back Monday means you're going to say, okay, Jake, you've been out for 6, whatever it is. I don't even remember how many weeks he's been out now. And we're going to play you back-to-back nights the first time. Like, that's just not wise. So that's why I think it's could you play him against Chicago? Yes. But then if he's healthy enough to play, you're probably not going to sit him out against Nashville. So it's easier to just say, okay, you know what? We'll play him against Nashville. Then he plays against the Islanders. Then he plays against Vancouver, and so on and so on. So away we go. I don't see any reason that that they're going to rush him back to and then have to play him on like Monday and then give him the night off on Tuesday. That just doesn't make any sense, right? At all. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Some other thing, we got a lot of texts about that soccer story. Gregor, appreciate you bringing up that story. I hadn't heard about it. Seems like corruption in soccer is a big issue locally. Well, it's funny, man. We get I'm not involved in it. I'm curious for people who are. And yeah, like I remember reading stories. Like, there seems to be like 2 factions in minor soccer, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, you get adults involved who try to think that like somehow they're organizing, professional sports and we're going to be developing all the next Alphonso Davies here. Like, come on, right? Come on. It's ridiculous, right? So I think that people probably need to calm their jets. Cooler heads need to prevail. But when you have a president of an association attacking and threatening a coach because after 20 minutes of game, he subbed out his kid, what are we doing? And then for the board to say, well, no, he acted as a parent. No, he didn't, because you fired the coach. So he didn't act as a board. He used his power as a president to try to influence a coach who, by the way, was a former professional athlete who might have known soccer a little bit. Just a little bit. And here's the thing. I have received a ton of text messages, and just for legal reasons, I can't read stuff because it's unsubstantiated, but I'll just say this. I've talked about a lot of people on the show over the years. I don't get text from multiple different people saying this guy is a POS and here's why, this is the story he had. So that's not great. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And when you have a president of an association abusing his power, and then the board just sits there and is like, oh, well, we're going to side with him, that's your problem. It's not just one person. There's other people because they empower and enable that to occur. That's the problem. That is the issue. And until someone just stands up and says, what are we doing? Like, we write out a code of conduct and we expect all of our parents, but if you're a parent who happens to be the president, well, that's okay. There's no consequences. Like, what? Man, it's very, very disappointing is what it is. We'll take a quick break early because I want to get more time with Colin Chalk, the head coach of the Condors, next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
The BCHL All-Star Game is coming to the Thompson Family Arena in Spruce Grove. The league's best players will go head-to-head in two exciting games, January 16th and 17th. The BCHL College Prospects Game takes place on Friday, January 16th at 7 p.m., while the premier matchup will see Canada take on the world on Saturday, January 17th at 7:30 p.m. For ticket inquiries and excellent group ticket packages, go to tickets.sgsaints.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love, better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquacentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade, safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
You know, this year I can't decide what to work on for my New Year's resolution. See my confidence, my appearance, or my general happiness.
Why not improve all three by finally addressing your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vancelia,
Receding hairlines and bald spots can chip away at your self-image, make you look older, and feel unattractive. Let's discuss your options for regaining a full natural head of hair and make this the year you get your mojo back. Book a free first consultation today at drvancelliot.com.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.324, welcome back. Jason Gregor. Declan Kruger with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Friday and big plans for the weekend as we're going to get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Where? Go Auto is your place to shop. Over 15,000 vehicles at goauto.ca. They got 31 vehicle brands and 76 locations to choose from. goauto.ca. And we are joined by the head coach of the Bakersfield Condors. Colin Chalk joins us once again. Coach, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Jason. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, I appreciate it. And, Colin, you obviously your job there is to develop players, so they're ready when they get that recall to the NHL and they compete. And you also want to have a competitive team at the same time. And, this year it seems you have a lot more players that are right at that level. Obviously, Ike Howard's back up here. We've seen Hudson come up. Clattenburg has come up for a few games. Riley Stillman's been up. There's a lot of guys this year. How much more rewarding is it? And how does that kind of fuel the culture where lots of guys look and say, man, this is now a legit thing that can happen to us?
Yeah, I felt like in my first year, we had a handful of guys up, and then my second year there was 7 or 8 guys that were on that had played a significant time. Ryan McLeod, Vincent Desharnais, Skinner, that had played significant time in Bakersfield that were on that Game 7 loss to Florida in the Stanley Cup final. So, but then the cupboards got a little bit bigger, and made some trades and that kind of stuff, and but then it sort of feels like that again. That management's done a really, really great job finding some players in Europe, making some trades. Howard being one, Matt Savoy being another, right? And then we've had an opportunity down here to help get them ready to help the Oilers. So obviously, like you said, that's our main goal, is to develop players for the Oilers. And in the NHL, it's all about winning, right? So we want to be competitive in the American League so we can help in that development process when they get to become an Oiler.
And well, hey, you're 8-10 in your last, 8-2 in your last 10 games, and have moved up. You're 3 points out of first place now, behind Colorado and Ontario. So not only are you developing guys, you're starting to win. Colin, what do you feel is being the key to your success over the last month with this group?
Well, it's a younger group, and what we have adopted really is just an attack mindset. We're attacking, we're pressuring, and our D are pinching, our forwards are skating. We've actually had some crazy injuries too, and some sickness going on. Like Josh Brown has been sick, Cam Dineen has been injured, he's been back. So the guys are really are embracing that attack mentality. We can score. Okay, so that keeps you in games. And then lastly, I would say our team in the last, really, I would say 10 games are committing to playing without the puck. They're committing to playing a system defensively without the puck, with their stick position, with their physicality and blocking shots. Goaltenders are playing well at the same time. And usually when you have good goaltending and you're not giving up as much, and guys are committed with playing without the puck, and you can score and you're pressuring the other team, generally you're usually in game. So those I would say were the main need of things. Special teams is obviously another thing, but I would say for the big picture, that's what we're seeing right now.
Well, your team is playing well, and it seems like, hey, anybody who comes in plays well. Connor Unger comes up from the ECHL, Colin, and man, his numbers from afar look great. What has he added to the group since Connor Ingram got recalled up to Edmonton? He's played really well, and he's earned that. And I think the biggest thing he's done is he's made some saves at big moments. And he's fighting for his life, right? So, and I feel like that's such a great thing by the organization, has rewarded this young man by playing really great where he was, and then now he's playing really great for us right now, and it goes hand in hand, right? Like, we're defending better, we're helping him more, but he's also making some real timely saves. Quinn Hudson leads all rookies in goals. He leads the entire league in goals with 22 in 28 games. He's got 36 points on the season, 2 points out of the scoring race. You mentioned you can score. It helps when you got the league's top scorer. And, he came in late last year to Edmonton. Didn't see him a lot, but, he's come in. What has led to him having so much success burying the puck?
He's a player that, has great offensive instincts, and he's someone who already had those instincts, right? So that's not something that I say we as the American coaching staff can take credit for. However, we have to embrace that type of play, and we have to unlock him and give him confidence that, we want you to carry the puck. We want you to make plays. And then there's also times where, that we want you to manage the puck and make sure you know how to play without it. So, that's part of it. Putting him in areas, putting him on the first power play, putting him in areas where he can be successful and use his skills, which is his release, his shooting, his patience. Use those areas, and then finding that chemistry as far as what line mates to play with. So, those are some things that we've helped him with. The scoring and stuff like that. He's a sniper. He really is. We got to put people who can get in the puck. And then lastly, I would say is that, what Adam Krug, he's in charge of the forwards, and myself are more assisting on the forwards development, is that we are making sure that he's skating without the puck. And, he's such a good player that he was able to just wait until he got it, where getting him to dart into holes, getting him to dart into open areas instead of standing and watching. And he's been really receptive to that coaching. So we're really excited with his development curve right now.
Well, yeah, dart, like, kind of, it's interesting that you say that, because it's something, now obviously my kids are way younger, but, some of my best players, like, they call for the puck, but they skate slow until they get it. Then they speed up, right? And so it's something that it's good to hear that, even older players, sometimes you're like, well, I'll skate fast when I get it, but you want to go to the spot and then you get it, because now you can attack even with more speed. And obviously he's been able to do that. He came up, he's been up and down a few times, and it doesn't seem to disrupt him, right? Like, there's no, I didn't get to stay. He comes back and he scored, I think, 3 goals in the first 2 games when he came back the last time here. Kind of talk about maybe his attitude of a guy who's got a few cups of coffee in the NHL, and it seems like that maybe has fueled him more than it's been frustrating for him.
Yeah, I just want to, before I answer that, if you don't mind, I just want to say one more thing on his first NHL goal, okay?
Yeah.
One of the things that the coaches talk about at Edmonton, and you'll like this for your son too, is beat your check. Sorry, we're just getting off the bus here and it's loud. Beat your check beat your check back to the net after you make a play. And if Oilers fans remember how he scored that first goal in Boston, was he was checked. He was in the corner. He was checked.
Yeah.
But he made the play to Max Jones, and then he darted, or he beat his check back to the blue paint, and he was rewarded for a rebound. And it's frustrating because if you do it all the time, most times the puck is not there. Most times you don't get rewarded. But when you think about it, you only have to be rewarded now and then to get a really good chance. And most players in the American League, or I shouldn't say most, many players don't do that consistently. And young players are it's hard for them to do that consistently. So that was really a great moment of coaching, but then also the player meeting you halfway sort of thing. So, as far as how Quinn's attitude's been, it's been excellent. He understands there's a plan for him. He's on the penalty kill. He's learning how to penalty kill. He understands that he's an important role here, and the NHL is obviously the end goal for everybody. And he's gaining that experience, and he goes up, and when he's needed, when his number's called, he's gone in, and I think done a decent job. And then when he comes back down, he's excited to play important minutes, right? So I think he's been great. We're attitude-wise, work ethic, all those things have been awesome. And we're just going to keep pushing and keep guiding and keep standing beside him, and hopefully one day he gets to be an Oiler.
Colin Schock, the head coach of the Bakersfield Condors, joins us. And Colin, two new guys to the team this year. You got Mahala and Josh Szymanski, and both of them are contributing offensively. More with assists and goals, 28 points for Mahala, 26 points for Szymanski. I've noticed, you're putting him, he's winning a lot of face-offs. So let's start with Szymanski and just kind of his evolution. I'm not sure how much you knew about him at all because, he didn't sign until, this offseason. And what you've seen from him, what impresses you, and what part of his game do you think will translate to potentially being an NHL player?
Well, Szymanski, the really great part about him is he understands what his role is going to be if and when he becomes an NHL player. He knows that he's probably going to have to be in the bottom six, and he's going to have to win faceoffs, forecheck, be good defensively, hit people, kill penalties, block shots, and grow his confidence on the offensive side if and when that happens. So there's no identity crisis. And that's exactly the things that we're doing with him in Bakersfield. Now is he playing when Ike Howard and Hudson are here? He's centering them because he's more of the guy that's in those defensive postures and playing down low and playing those heavy, hard areas to get the puck to those guys. We really like where he's at. Pretty amazing honor that he's been selected to play in the Olympics. So that'll be another development moment. I think that will help the Oilers. And then also he's just a great young man. He's happy, he's smiling. I feel like he's really, really enjoying the mix of players we have, whether they're guys from Finland or American guys or Canadian guys. He's really embraced all the players. So that's been exciting. As far as Mariella, he's a different player. He's more of a kind of like a magician out there. He's delaying, and he'll take a guy on one-on-one, and then his vision and his passing is definitely his best quality as a player. We're trying to work with him to be a little bit harder and a little bit meaner on face-offs and stay in battles a little bit more. But his able to transport the puck to the neutral zone, his vision, how he creates time and space when there is none. Those are some real special skills that he has. So I would say both different players, but both bring a lot. And then there's little things that we're trying to help grow and unlock, and then also embrace things that he has continue to do and keep that going. So both been great additions, and great job by Stan and Toby, the European and development team that helped get those guys over. So great signings.
Colin Chalk joins us here on Sports 1440. What about Marhala, Colin? Definitely a playmaker, it looks like, if I look at his statistics. What does he have as a player that, the areas you're trying to work on him to help him maybe get a look down the road?
We'd like him to shoot the puck more, and we'd like him just like the Hudson goal. Like he'll make an amazing pass and then he'll watch, right? So he's got to get to the net more after he makes an amazing play, because in the American League, arguably the second best league in the world, like its players are very detailed defensively, and what their lack of their skill, they'll make up in their work ethic and they'll compete. And that's how they survive in this league. So, him learning to fight through those, and sometimes it might be a physical, or sometimes it might be edge work and try to slippery get by. So he scored 8 goals last year, 54 points in Finland. The year before he scored 17 goals. So he can do it. His vision is so good. And it's funny that I was a similar player at a lower level where sometimes you don't look at the net because you see everything else, and you see the open players, you see the guys that are coming to attack you. You're looking for your outs, you're looking for your options. You want to keep the puck. You're actually not looking at the net. So trying to open his mind to, hey, you can shoot and you can score and you got a good shot. So, and that's all it is sometimes is, hey, just bringing attention. Hey, last 5 games, you haven't had any shot attempts. Oh, okay. Because that's not something that he values. He values being a magician, a mechanic, slicing through and making passes and getting the puck to other guys. So shooting the puck, face-offs, getting his percentage in the mid-50s, and then just fighting to get to the net a little bit more defensively and all those things. He's adapted quite well to a little bit of a different style of play here in North America.
Colin, what about, you mentioned Unger and how he's looked and come in, and he's a guy who's just battling, and it seems like whoever you put in the lineup due to the injuries or the illness, they've played well. What about your collective as your team? You mentioned it's a young team and they've adapted your style. Because you guys have been on a really good run here to move. You used to, a month and a half ago, you were in 6th or 7th. Now you're 3 points out of first place and you're going in the right direction. How confident are you that because you have a younger team that, in theory, from the outside, I look and say, well, now these guys have got a little bit more experience at the AHL level. Like, this is something that's definitely sustainable. It's not just a heater.
Yeah, I even if you look at our team last year, we couldn't score, but we slowly got like a little bit better each year. Not each year, each week, each month, a little bit better. And I think that's a sign if everyone's working together. That's players, that's management, that's coaches. And I think there was I believe we had 4 or 5 overtime losses in games that they end up that probably puts you in 4 or 5, right? I think the really, really cool thing about this team is we're never out of games because we're in attack mode, because we're being aggressive, because we can score. Now, part of that is the coaching staff helping guide. And then the other part of it is just allowing them to be instinctual and allowing them to be, a little bit out in the wild, without, but having some systematical and decision-making processes. So, then the other part I'll say is like Connor Unger, was under contract last year, right? And he spent some time in the ECHL and he had an injury. And a guy like James Stefan, say, for example, right? He came in and right out of junior and he was young and it was overwhelming for him, right? So like he comes back, he gets back in the lineup and he plays a good solid 10, 12 minutes. And we're like, wow, okay, that's great. So, but it's not his first year. Excuse me. So I would say that is helpful. Whereas like a Matt Savoy, he took until after Christmas last year to start being impactful. It took him 25 games. So, a guy like Szymanski, Lepinen that's injured right now, Mariella, they're a little bit older. So they're young, meaning young in the AHL, but they've had some experiences. Those are just to name a few. Roby Jarmente hasn't played in a year and a half, right? But he had played pro before. So those things, I think, those are different challenges for him to go through. But I think that has helped our team, get to this point. And then lastly, I would say whether we're winning, whether we're losing, like we're really trying to keep it a fun, competitive, positive environment. And that's hard to do when things aren't going well, right? When you said earlier, we're more 6 or 7, like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is our plan. We feel good about it. We're going to be competitive. We're going to be attack mode, and we're going to keep going forward on that. And the players and everyone have really, really come together. So we're excited about it.
Colin, always great to catch up with you, man. Continued success. Really appreciate your time.
Okay, thanks so much for the call, Jason. Have a great day.
I bet you. There's Colin Chalk, head coach of the surging Bakersfield Condors, up to third place. They're only, tied for third. They're only 3 points out of first place now in their division in the American Hockey League, and they got the leading goal scorer, Quinn Hudson. He's a rookie, and he leads all rookies, leads the entire league. He's third in points. Szymanski, wow, they've all played well. Coward, when he was down there, has played very well. Seth Griffin, the veteran guy who comes in, that they brought in Sam Poulin. He's added. Yarventi's got 23 points in 29 games. So they got a lot of guys producing, and now their goaltending's played well. So good for them. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. Wanye Gretz joins us, and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup? That would be awesome.
But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control, like bringing home some Wilhauk beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhauk beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win cups with salad.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
A huge thank you for making Sports 1440 the most listened to sports radio station in Edmonton. From Gregor to Curious to Low Tide, we've got in-depth analysis on all your favorite sports. We are Sports 1440.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old man managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot, all because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next "where'd I put my phone" moment.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 EEE. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get 3 large specialty pizzas for only $54.99. Perfect for game night. Use promo code 3LG at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.348. Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Friday. It is a positive Friday. We got NFL playoffs coming up this weekend, starting tomorrow. 2 games Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. We got the Oilers hosting the LA Kings tomorrow night. The LA Kings are a little banged up. No Kopitar, no Moore, no Armia, no Perry tonight in Winnipeg, and then they'll fly to Edmonton, get in rather late, and then have to take on the Oilers tomorrow night. Now, the thing about the Kings is the Kings are 0-3-3 in game ones of back-to-backs, but they're 4-1-1 in the second half. So even if they lose, now, it might be hard to lose because Winnipeg right now can't win, but maybe the Jets, that's all they need is a banged-up Kings team to win. But either way, the Oilers, they will not get a better chance to win 3 in a row than they will tomorrow night. The Oilers, they should have a lot of confidence how they played in that final 40 minutes. Anytime you give up 5 shots on goal, you're doing something well. Number 2, Connor McDavid's on a heater and showing no signs of slowing down. Number 3, the Kings are banged up, and they've never been a great matchup for the Edmonton Oilers. So, Edmonton, they've been pretty good at home. I know they want to get on a little bit of a run here, and because if they could get on a run, they could start some separation. Because as well as they played since December, San Jose's actually got a better record. Seattle has a better record. Because the Oilers, it's like 2-1, 2-1. They can't get to that 3 and maybe 4. And that makes a big difference. It just does. So we'll see if they can get on track here a little bit. And as well as they've played lately, I think they're capable of playing better because they still haven't been able to string together a good stretch of wins. Wanye Gretz joins us in studio. How you doing?
Good day, sir. Happy New Year. I know it's a bit late to say that, but I haven't seen you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well,
you're off coaching, doing your toe Blake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Toe Blake. God, kids would have no idea if I pulled out that one.
The old fedora?
I like pulling it. Well, not the fedora, but I do. I just wear a toque on the bench all the time. It's a little chilly. So, for no hair guy, it's chilly. But I do every now and then like to pull out a name just, and they're like, what? They don't. I said, you guys got to know a little bit more about the history of the players. So we play some fun games like that every now and then.
When you're around the kids in the coach setting, does it take you back to when you were a kid and how it's effectively kids, or are they substantially different?
Well, I don't remember how I was to be coached. I don't I think times have changed a little bit. Like I had a coach shoot a puck at me in Pee Wee. Like I definitely don't shoot pucks at kids in U13, never have. So I think it's a little different in some aspects. Obviously with YouTube and the availability to look at different things now, like kids are, they like to try some things that are awesome. And then some of the things that they try, I'm like, well, yeah, that might look good on a YouTube video, but it doesn't work in a game, right? Like skating up the ice full speed and then trying to saucer pass when there's no one around you makes no sense, right? So there's little things that, sometimes information can be good. Sometimes it can be bad because it's not right. It's not the right information, but you know what? I think the kids I'm lucky. Like our team, I got a very good group of kids, right? Like we have no issues in the room. We have no issues, with with families or parents or anything, the kids all seem to get along, right? Like, you got 17 kids on the team. They're not all best friends, but they all get along pretty well. They encourage each other. So from that aspect, I don't know if it's changed. Like I remember when I played, luckily, I was never on a team where there was a lot of drama in my minor hockey days. Like, we had some coach who used to bench kids at way too young. Like I would never do that. Right. But other than that, like I've never had kids like get in fights or anything like that. So I don't know if it's changed that much. I'm sure, some instances have, right? Like all I know is the one thing I've learned in coaching, if you have one bad seed in the room, it can really spread. And so you've got to really put it out quickly. And I think that's the one thing I learned early on is if just have one that tries to go outside the lines too often, it doesn't work. And so you can see them pretty well. And usually if you have a conversation, I found, to say, hey, this is what we need, and you do it in the right way, then you get everybody back on track. Because I bet it's no different than I think at the workplace. You get the wrong person in your work environment, and let's just say they're a negative Nelly and they complain and then it just slowly spreads out, right? Like a fun sponge isn't good.
You got to get the good glue guys in the room that even if things are going terribly, they tell jokes.
Yeah, well, that, or you just, and they're learning at this age how to express themselves, right? So sometimes they're trying to encourage, but they don't know, like it comes across as like they're disencouraged. So you say, hey, you got to present it this way and stuff like that. So, I believe in all the, I've read a lot on coaching. It's, you're a teacher, like, but way easier than a teacher. I could never be a school teacher. Like, God love them. Like, my time's an hour at a time or an hour and a half. And it's usually an event that they like to do, right? Like it's not hard to get your kids to go to hockey for the most part. But some days it's hard to get your kid to go to school, right? So that way it's lucky. But I think there is a little bit of like you're teaching them, try to how to understand the game. And especially now, like I got some good players on our team. So you're trying to help them improve. Like everybody likes to do what they're good at. It's normal. So you improve and work on the things that they're not and how it can incorporate to say, hey, like this is, like bring your head up more, right? Like that's the one thing I notice is kids seem to have their head down more nowadays. And, we're these academies or wherever, and they're doing, hand drills all the time, but their heads are down. So that's the one thing I've noticed. It's a little bit of a constant reminder, like head up, like, you're going to play contact next year for all the second years. Like you get your bell rung once, you're probably going to learn to keep your head up.
When does contact start now?
U15.
U15.
Yeah. Like now, body checking. Contact is allowed. Like, and we've had officials explain it to kids. I'm like, guys, you can contact where if you want to skate to the boards and rub a guy out, that's not going to get called. But it's hitting. You can't have body checking, right? And there is a difference for sure. So it makes it fun, man. Like I've always enjoyed coaching. Like the personalities of the kids are fun. Like every age group's different. Like still like initiation was like hilarious because you're actually on the ice with the kids and because they're half ice and you're just kind of there to help herd the cats. And man, the comments like I watch the kids chirp each other now. It's no different than fans when you watch, you're like, geez, I wonder what there's like the NHL guys are saying to each other. And it's no different than a coach. Like sometimes you're like, and I never ask them because I'm like, what's stays on the ice? Like, we have like a code of conduct. There's certain things you can't say now, obviously, which is good. But I always kind of find it funny when you see them jarring. And now that they're at the age where, there's a little bit more scrums every now and then and a little bit of pushing and shoving. And so, I don't mind that part of the game. So I just kind of sit back and chuckle.
What's your coaching style on the bench? Can you keep it together when you're getting the short end of the stick, or do you throw your gum and kick the water bottles?
No, none of that. But this year I had one time where just like there was a missed offside. I said, hey, I was offside. So a little louder probably than I should have. But
do the kids think that's awesome, though, when the coach gets fired up?
I don't know. They never said anything. So I did say to the kids, hey, I shouldn't talk like that after the game. So
I can remember the one year our like normally stoic coach lost it on a referee and the kids thought it was like, we lost like 10-2. We're like, that was the greatest game of the year.
There is a sense of at any level, if you're clearly getting wronged, right? Because some kids on our team, they're like, oh, that's not a penalty. I'm like, guys, you think every penalty is never your fault. Like, that's a clear penalty. You tripped them. Like, come on. Like, sometimes just admit it. It's a penalty. You might not do it on purpose. Doesn't mean it's not a penalty. But there are, if you were ever at a time where you felt like you were clearly getting wronged, I think you would have to do it in a respectful manner to let your team know that you were standing up for them. Right. And so that would be something that it would probably take a lot, right? Like, you got 13 and 14-year-old, 15-year-old kids learning how to ref. Like, I always ask, like the one thing I always ask kids their name. So if you have a conversation with them, you can say their name. It totally diffuses it right away. I'll be like, and I always ask, say, hey, Ethan, what did you see there? If like and it says that, okay, no problem. Like, okay, it's just like a conversation, right? So you try not to freak out at the refs.
You call the refs by their first names?
100%. I always ask them their name. They kind of like, what? I'm like, this is my name. If you have any problems, so then we have a conversation. It's a way better conversation rather than, hey, ref.
Wasn't there like a Hippocratic oath where you're coach and they're ref and that's how it has to work?
No, I think it's better when you say someone's
That's a
name.
power move, telling the ref you want to know his first name before the game
I
starts.
never tell him. I ask him, dude. I'm not saying I said, hi, I'm Jason. What's your name? That's all. It's just a good introduction. When you walk up to a stranger, do you say hi? Hey, party goer? You ask them their name. Like, to me, it's a simple thing. And I find if you ever have to talk to them during the game or after you say someone's name, you can read all the psychology books. When you say someone's name, they feel more like they feel seen. So, like anytime, and most, hey, really good game, Ethan. Really good game. Thought you guys really meant. Like, we had a ref in Sherwood Park that's the best ref I think I've ever had. He explained to the kid, came over, guys, and he says, hey, this is what I'm going to look at. Okay, explain it right up the front. And then one of our players took a penalty and explained to why. You were a penalty because the guy goes in the box. Well, the ref explained to me it was a penalty. He goes, and he was right. Like, you can't argue because everybody wants to argue because I think they see it sometimes. Oh, it's never a penalty, right? And I remember I purposely and actually wrote a note to the referee people because they probably never get comments and said, hey, we had this official today. He was the best official we've had. How he controlled the game, how he had, and it was a well officiated game. It was awesome. And I've never had a ref like that. And I was like, this guy might go places. It was really good.
It's a pretty crazy experience for a little kid reffing sports. As somebody ref soccer for a lot of years, like some of those parents, when you're just a little kid, like I couldn't believe I'm 12 years old, I could run a soccer game, like the power entrusted to a kid referee in sports. And like hockey referees go through it. Like some of those.
Wow, dude, like, hey, I just got this. Say, Jason, as a supervisor of officials, we strongly recommend that referees call coaches by their first name as well. It makes communication both ways much more friendly. It's bang on, Nick. Now, here's the thing. And I get it, they're young kids. So I've never had one ask me my name. So that's why I always initiate. And I should. I'm the adult, right? Like they're young, 14 and 15. I remember being 14 and 15. Like, you probably forget. You barely remember your name. So, but all I know is in my instances, when you ask the ref, even when you ask them their name kind of right away, they kind of perk up, right? And so I just find I would recommend that to everybody. It calms the situation because when you talk to someone, rather than, hey, ref, rather than, hey, Ethan, like you're just not going to yell as much. Right? You're going to be in a calmer situation. So,
did you ever ref when you were a kid?
No.
You're only.
But my son wants to ref. He's
Does he?
Not old enough yet, but he wants to. Yeah. And I think it's great, right? I've always said this. The way to calm parents and people down from officiating is make everybody's kid ref. And then you sit in the crowd. And when all of a sudden you're there and some adult's like, hey, ref, and you're like, geez, the guy's yelling at my 13-year-old over a missed tripping call. Like, what are we doing? I think it would be fantastic. Now, I know it's hard because you know what? You have to ref multiple games to get better at it, just like you have to play hockey to get better at. But I think it would be a fantastic thing. Like if I had a parent who did it once, they say, okay, well, you can get back in. Your son's going to have or daughter's going to have to officiate now. And now you'll understand it because now you'll probably have empathy of like, oh my God, it's a little bit harder than I thought. Right? Like I don't ever think the refs are screwing the kids over and he makes a call. It's a split-second decision. It's like when at the NHL level, when players serve a pizza up the middle, are they do they go to bed at night saying, I think this is a really great decision. I'm going to pass the puck to the other team right on the tape? Of course not. So a ref's going to miss a call. People have to deal with it.
Well, let's objectively think about who we're criticizing here. These are like minor sports referees. They didn't go to school for 10 years to do this.
Yeah.
What's the training of a 14-year-old kid refereeing?
Well, they go to referee clinics and then you got to pass the test to get your officiating. And then you just get more reps. Right? That's all it is.
So they're just learning, right?
Yes.
They're just starting out. They're going to miss calls. They're only kids, right?
Yeah. Well, the kids miss plays all the time in a game, right? Hey guys, let's not do this. We won't want to break up the middle unless it's boom, right on the tape. What the hell were you thinking there? Right? So, it's fun though. I think I enjoy coaching. It's great. You get to kind of be closer to the game. And other than I've noticed like maybe I'm getting softer, but God, this year, like there's a few rinks, like we just played in Lloydminster. And I stood on the bench. I've never been colder. I've never been colder standing on a bench as a coach. I was like, what is, and it's a new facility. Like the ice was fast. Kids loved it. But I'm like, It's chilly in there, man.
That's why Tobe Blake wore that overcoat.
Oh yeah, no,
He'd
I
stay
get it.
warm on the
I get it.
bench.
You're on the ice, so you're a little bit closer to it. But I do. I'm always a glove and tube coach, 100%. Right. Plus, I'm a little bit of. I don't like shaking everybody's hand. So if I have a glove on, then I can shake their hand. So there you go. Hey, Greg's. Perfect analogy you mentioned with respect to interacting with the referees or officials and using a first name. Always works because it brings much needed personalization to the conversation. So either way, I look at it, the better that the coaches are, the better we are. So if we're calm and they're calm, then we evaluate, they evaluate. I like your approach. That comes from CFL official Robbie. Nice. Yes.
Real CFL official?
Yeah. Right. Robbie, he texts the show. Yeah, CFL official. It's true, like at any level, right? Like and I encourage, like, to me, it should be encouraged all the time. We had an officiating guy texting the show. You encourage your refs to introduce their name, know each other's names, right? Like, I think the biggest mistake the NHL, it's not as personal. Lots of guys don't even know the ref's name, right? Because they used to have their last name on the jersey. And, oh yeah, but some people in the crowd, I'm like, get real. Like, how many people from the crowd are calling the ref's name? Like that much? Like, honestly, right? Like, I don't know. I'd love to talk. I talked to Kerry Fraser about it. He's like, you get the odd guy, but so what? There's 17,000 fans. There's always going to be a few idiots. Like, it's just how it is.
But Kerry Fraser used to take abuse back in the day. Remember this perfectly coiffed hair?
He said he did, but not as. He said not like during the game when you're skating up and down the ice. Guy in section 1, hey Fraser, you suck. Like, do you honestly think it impacts you? Like, honestly, why would that? Like, as if.
You know who else used to take a lot of abuse in hockey games was the goal judge. Remember those guys back in the day, and they'd sit there in the little stool and they had a little cage around them?
I remember at the end, the goal judge used to be upstairs watching the game. And I got to know all the goal judges at the old, at Rexall. And then they say, you're right. It used to be down by the glass. And then they moved him and he was upstairs to turn the light on or off to see if the puck was in.
Like to safety, basically, because I think they like right behind the net, and then people would like throw garbage at them and stuff like that. They had little cages built around them. And then they got them out of Dodge.
It was more so because of finances, because they're like, that's 2 really good seats that we could sell.
Oh, yeah.
100% it was. Let's get to Declan Kruger and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Fountain Tire, they meet all your car needs and more. Their digital vehicle report, they don't just tell you what your car needs, they show you. Book your appointment today at fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Late night in the NHL, just 3 games. Chicago hosting Washington, Kings in Winnipeg, and the Blues heading to Utah to play the Mammoth. 1 game in the PWHL, Vancouver and Ottawa. And Team Canada Women's Olympic hockey roster has been announced. Emmerich Smashmeyer of Brunheim, Alberta, the lone Albertan on the squad. Raptors back at it tonight, taking on the Celtics from TD Garden. Tip-off at 5:30. Semifinal number 2 in the college football playoff. Oregon and Indiana at 5:30. In the Peach Bowl, free agent outfielder Max Kepler has been suspended for 80 games by Major League Baseball after a positive test for a performance-enhancing substance. And collegiate sports in the city tonight see Bears and Pandas basketball hosting U of S at the Seville beginning at 6. Griffins men's hockey hosting Trinity Western at the DCA at 7. And the Ukes playing Concordia at the Nate Arena. Puck drop at 6. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440. Stingray Radio Station. CHJR. Broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text CREDIT to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden. Rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
4:00. Welcome back. Positive Friday. Gregor. Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Donovan Paulson running things on our YouTube, Facebook, X Switch chat. So say hello there. Give the subscribe button. Give a thumbs up. It's always good. It's very, it costs you nothing. Costs you nothing. No time at all. So there you go.
Did you see your online report today, Gregor, that I sent to you in the email about how the
Well, I saw the email, but I didn't have time to dig into it.
business is booming for 1440? The Instagram account had 88 full podcasts posted to it in 30 days.
Nice.
You would be hard pressed to find that many podcasts about your local sports on any other channel.
That's true.
Everything is booming. It's doing great.
I love it. Love it.
So give us a subscribe.
Yeah.
Follow us on YouTube. There's a lot of extra content we're going to start putting out too.
Nice. I like it. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. $55 million tonight in 6 Max Millions in the Lotto Max. Of course, you can always use the Jason Gregor Show odds boosts. We have different ones every day. Tonight we're going little Jets. They got to win at some point, don't they? Jets. And then Blues Mammoth. Maybe actually get combined 6 goals. We'll see. And then I'll have some NFL ones. And then tomorrow, of course, for the Oiler game as they look to win 3 in a row. Dare to dream. Dare to dream. Oiler fans. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Let's get to the 2-minute warning. With Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. Furnace conks out middle of the night on the weekend. You need help, they'll come fix it, but no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Of course, Cam was born with cerebral palsy. And you know what? Tater, he sent me his but it's not working. So we'll have to try to find out his live read here. There's nothing. It's blank. It looks like it started. Oh no, here it is. Here it is. I found it. I had to. It's playing a joke on me. He left it blank, but if you highlight it, then it lights up. What a donkey! He's always playing his little games. So,
Jason Bourne stuff.
yeah, there you go. Exactly. It's like a code. It's like a code you have to figure out. So on Fridays, Tater wants me to read his 2-minute warning. So I'm honored to do it now. I have to admit, now these are Tater's words. I'm very sentimental. My late wife used to say, I live in the past so much, I should pay rent there. But if something worked brilliantly, I believe we should fold it gently, place it in the tickle trunk, and pull it out when we need it. So I'm reaching in back to 1991. Murdoch Davis was managing editor of the Edmonton Journal. He wanted to call him about giving in our city. He asked me to write it. Once a week, I'd share a story. There was no email back then. The letters poured in, hundreds, people bursting to share their stories of giving. Within 2 months, reaction to the column was positive. We increased it to twice a week. That was 35 years ago. But I think the magic is still there. Quick Card Edmonton Minor Hockey Week starts tonight. And through the hundreds of games, the thousands of players, and countless volunteers, there are even more stories. I'm asking you to help share some of those stories with me. When you're at the tournament, the largest hockey tournament in the world, and you hear something amazing, it might be a player who's on a heater hotter than Connor McDavid, a coach, a manager, equipment manager who drove several hours on Alberta winter roads to be on time for a game. A volunteer you've never seen or you've seen year after year after year doing the same thing during Minor Hockey Week to make it go. And how the week just wouldn't be the same without it. Email the details to Tater, cam@sports1440.ca. Again, cam@sports1440.ca. I'm really hoping to fill every 2-minute warning with stories from Quick Card Edmonton Minor Hockey Week. Now, there's one more thing. If you email me a story tip, your name goes into a draw to be my guest at an Edmonton Oilers game in the press box. Email me, cam@sports1440.ca. Well, that's actually pretty cool because if you're Tater's guest, basically you get to wheel him around. You get to go everywhere. You get to go into the room. You get to go you have access like all media person. And you're Tater's kind of his chaperone for the day. So that is a pretty sweet add-on for somebody because they'll go into the draw if you email them the story tip. And you know what? It's basically like a positive thing that happened in Edmonton Minor Hockey Week. So enjoy it. It starts tomorrow. Maybe you got a great story already from somebody in your minor hockey system that's going above and beyond. Because there are lots of volunteers who I believe do a fantastic job in so many different associations. People can think about the Zamboni driver who at times, you know what, lets you on the ice early in the morning or lets you on for a few minutes later at practice, especially in the smaller communities where you aren't on such a time schedule. Every second the sheet is busy. So there's lots of volunteers to make it go. So if you have a good story, email it cam@sports1440.ca. That's pretty cool. And you could get to see some things that you can't pay for. You can't just buy your way into that. So that's pretty cool. I like it. Hey, guys, seen rumblings about Mangiapane to Winnipeg. What do you think the Oilers would want in return? Well, in an ideal world, they'd probably just want to shed the money and not give up everything. But, if you look at because I know yesterday there was lots of people asking about Jonathan Toews. I would be very surprised if the Oilers had interest in Jonathan Toews. Like, they're looking for a third-line center. He's not a third-line center, right? Like, he's on the last-place team in the NHL. Like, you can be an NHL player sometimes on a last-place team in the NHL. That doesn't mean that you can be an NHL player on the first-place team or a Stanley Cup contender, which is how the Oilers view themselves. So, if they're would they do Gustav Nyquist for Mangiapane? Why? Like, it saves you $350K for this year. Now, Nyquist doesn't have a contract next year, so I guess that's the benefit. But it doesn't help them in their salary cap. Now, the advantage the Oilers have, and actually, if I crunch the numbers on Nyquist from 3.6 to 3.25, that might be enough. So with Adam Henrique, now he's on IR today, but he'd be eligible to be placed on. He's not going to return until after the Olympics. So let's say next Monday and Tuesday, Wallman's going to come off of the of LTIR. And with Jarry on LTIR, they still have space to bring Wallman off. They would send Riley Stillman to the minors, and away they go. But Tristan Jarry is going to be ready next week, maybe late next week. So then when he's ready, they're going to have to clear up enough money, plus they'll have to send another roster spot down. Now, if you put Adam Henrique on LTIR, then they'd have to just send down one player. It's either the third goalie or it's going to be the 14th forward. And then they would be cap compliant for the time being. So the rush to have to move Mangiapane by next week is off a little bit. But if he's not playing, and my understanding is Mangiapane is very open to get traded. It's not working here. So, hey, sometimes you gotta cut bait on both sides. Hey, I signed here. I was hoping it would work. It's not working. Let's try to find a way. Now, he's not gonna ask for waivers to be bought out, because I've had some people say that, not bought out, but have his contract. No, he's making $3.6 million this year and next year. He ain't walking away from that. Like, he's not an idiot. So, because he wouldn't get that on the free agent market right now, right? So, but to move somewhere else for an opportunity to play and then hopefully play well so he could get another contract, that's his motivation.
Where do you think it went wrong?
Well, I don't believe there's certain now. I'm not sold that Mangiapane was going to be a top 6 guy here automatically. Like he had 1 year where he was a top 6 player in production. The rest would be more of like a middle 9, like probably a third line guy. I think, you lose a little bit of confidence because remember, he actually got off to a decent start. I think he had 4 goals in his first 13 or 14 games or 16 games, whatever it was. Like he was on pace to score 16 to 18 goals, which is kind of what he is. He's a smaller guy who I found is where he struggles is this year, he got knocked off the puck too easily. Right. And then he probably lost some confidence. Then the coach loses confidence. And now it becomes just a boulder of negativity that's kind of swirling around you. And like he's not going to be in the top. Like when Kapanen's here and Podkolzin's here and Nugent Hopkins and he's not better than any of them. Right. Jack Rosovic's a better winger than him. So now you're at best a third liner. And, you got young Ike Howard, who's playing really well in the minors, and he's a young player that they want to develop. Like Mangiapane's like developing days are done. It's more so like you continue what you've done at the NHL or you regress. Like he's probably wasn't going to suddenly become a 30-goal scorer consistently. I don't think that was realistic for him. So to pinpoint one thing is hard. It wasn't necessarily a great fit. And I will say, guys like Mangiapane and Skinner and other ones that were here, players who are wingers who hold on to the puck a little bit too long, it doesn't work. It doesn't complement your 2-star centers. It's just that now you can play with, like when Jeff Skinner was in Buffalo scoring all, he didn't have a McDavid or a Draisaitl. So he could hold on to the puck a little bit more. And yeah, it worked, but they also never made the playoffs. Right. So you can play certain styles on teams that don't win. And you can be effective because the team has so many other problems. They're not even noticing. Well, geez, sometimes the play dies them, but he still scores 30 goals. Right. So as Mangiapane, I think when I watched him, that's the one thing I noticed really from the first bit, like the play was there. You see McDavid Draisaitl open, and he takes the extra move, and now the play's gone. And that just doesn't jive with those two. Like you look at Corey Perry. Did Corey Perry ever hang on to the puck? Like people wonder, well, how did Corey Perry had to think his way around the ice with McDavid and Draisaitl, but he rarely held on to the puck long. Right. Sometimes on a wraparound around the net, which made sense. But usually Corey Perry, he was a very, very cerebral player. Smart. And that's, you've got to have a pretty good IQ or just be a relentless worker, right? Like Podkolzin fits with Draisaitl because he is dogging on the puck. His motor never stops. And when he gets it, he just doesn't look for Draisaitl, but he doesn't hold on to the puck too long and the play dies. That's why I think he works with Draisaitl. And he works because he's great in the forecheck. Right? Like look at Kapanen. Like, by the way, Kapanen's looked great in his first 2 games coming back. He's like that play, 2 points the first game, and then that play last night on the Podkolzin. Man, that was the old Messier Anderson. They were the first one. They used to come behind the net, and then you backhand it short side where the goalie's coming across thinking you're going to come around the net. Like that is an awesome play. I'd love to see guys do it more often. It's hard to do. You got to be very accurate on the pass. Otherwise, it can look like it's just a terrible giveaway. But, man, I thought that was a sweet play by Kapanen.
What have your thoughts been on Connor Ingram?
He's had 4 out of 5 solid starts.
Yeah.
Right? 4 out of 5. And so you can't always just look at one number because if you look at his save percentage, it's an 892. Yeah, it's because it's one game, right? Against Boston. It wasn't a good game. That's fine. He didn't have a great night. It's going to happen. If it's 1 out of 6, 1 out of 7, 1 out of 8, that's fine. You live with it. But I think, I've had no issue with Ingram. Like I'm going to guess he'll get the start tomorrow night against the LA Kings, and then him and Pickard will split the game in Nashville and Chicago. They'll each get a start in back-to-back, and then Ingram will probably play against the Islanders, and then they split the other one. So Pickard's going to play 2 out of the next 6 games. That's what I would guess.
It's crazy they had to trade Skinner to get Jari to realize Ingram was going to be able to carry a large percentage of the load.
Well, it's more so because of Jari got injured.
But that's what I mean, though, right?
But I'm not sold. Like, I'm still not sold yet that Ingram is like a full-fledged starter. He's played well, but you have Jari now. Jari and Ingram, it might be a 2-to-1 ratio rather than a 3-to-1 ratio. And you look at Stuart Skinner in Pittsburgh. His first start against the Oilers wasn't great. Since then, he's 5 games. He's got a .915 save percentage. In his last 3 games, he's only allowed 3 goals. He's got like a .930 save percentage. So Pittsburgh's playing well right now, right? Skinner's had stretches where he can play well. And I've always argued that. And just like I think The Oilers, when they're successful because their goalie can make some key saves, but he doesn't need to be the do-all, end-all for him. Like, I don't know if many teams, like even Bobrovsky in Florida, he didn't have to stand on his head to beat the Oilers. Now, in game one, was it game 1 of 2024? He kind of stole the game. I think it was a game 1 or game 2. It's one of the two. I think it was game 1. But other than that, like, he didn't steal them game 7. It's not like he had to make unreal saves. And then last year, he didn't have to at all. So you need good, timely goaltending, but it's rare in today's NHL with so much offensive creativity that you can rely on your goalie to just stone the opposition time after time. I don't think that's realistic moving forward into the way the game's played today. Maybe a game or two, like, hey, Skinner had to steal a game against Dallas, right? Stole a game against LA. So yes, 1 or 2, but to think your goalie is going to steal you multiple games in a series, I don't think that that's wise. Hey, Gregor, doesn't the player see that before signing Edmonton? That he'd have zero chance of playing in the top 6? Well, I don't know if it was zero chance, but even if it wasn't top 6, he thought he could play in the top 9 here with a chance to get a few games in the top 6. That's why you sign here. And it hasn't worked out. Like you can't just always blame the organization. I don't think Andrew Mangiapane has played well enough to be a regular in the top 9. It just hasn't. So like, there's still some emphasis on the player that you have to, that you got to do it. Hey, Gregor, does Ingram have to clear waivers? Not yet, but if he plays more than 9 games, he'll have to. So he's played 5. He'll play 6 tomorrow, 7 against Nashville or Chicago, 8 on the Islanders, then 9 against one of the other 2. And there's his 9 games. And in theory, they could send him down at that point and not have to worry about waivers. I guess it's a possibility. It's more so, do they think that Pickard would get claimed on waivers? That would be their question. None of us know for sure the answer, but that would be the question. We'll take a break. When we come back, Craig Button joins us here on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only, at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantor. Made in Canada, made for Canada. Where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantor.com.
Pro sports, local sports, minor leagues, you got it all. It's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.427. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger with you here. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Friday, big weekend for NFL fans. I can't wait, man. A lot of those games are intriguing. How about the Bills? Josh Allen, 0-4 in his career on the road in the playoffs. Can they win on the road? Can the Jags and Houston continue their lengthy winning streaks? Panthers, the big upset. What about the 49ers and the Eagles? They have teams who get to the Super Bowl the last, 3 years, I think it is, in the NFC. So they got a lot of experience there. A lot of injuries, too. So what happens? I can't wait, man. Cannot wait. Love playoffs. Any sport, anytime I will watch playoffs.
Is there a game you're looking forward to the most?
Actually, it's the Jags game. I'm kind of intrigued, right? Best rushing attack versus the best run defense. That one interests me a lot. And, because of Connor, I definitely will be checking in on the Chargers and the Patriots just to see, Con man, you need to take the day off today just to ensure that he was healthy to watch the game on Sunday.
Is that when I came in, I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe he was in a cryogenic chamber or something.
No.
He thinks he needs to get ready.
He does. Yeah. You know what? He's doing his part to ensure that his team maybe can win. So now do they play tomorrow? Yeah, they play on Sunday. So tomorrow is what, the Bears and the Packers? Only the third time the Bears and Packers have ever met in the playoffs. Crazy stuff. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints and BCHL All-Star Weekend in Spruce Grove, the Thompson Family Arena next Friday and Saturday. They'll have all the prospect game on Friday night, and then you have Canada versus the world on Saturday. Be lots of scouts there. It'll be lots of fun. So check it out. That brand new facility is unreal. Get your tickets at sgsaints.ca as we are joined by former NHL general manager and scout, ace analyst and scout for TSN, Craig Button joins us. Butts, my man, how you doing?
I am great, Jason, today. Hope all is well with you. I was listening just earlier about the goaltending thing. I would send Ingram down and keep Pickard, see where Jari's at, and if you're not going to play him, get him playing, maybe call somebody else up. Because I think with some of the goaltending situations around the league, that Calvin Pickard or Connor Ingram would get picked up. I just think, even for a short-term fix I think of the Ottawa Senators. I mean, I just think on a short-term fix that those guys would get picked up.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but what about this? Because you've got young Connor Unger and you've got Matt Tompkins already in the month. Yep. What if you just carried 3 goalies and didn't carry a 14th forward? You had 13 forwards and 3 goalies.
But what you can do is, instead of carrying 3, just send Ingram down, let him play, call the other guy up. Carry 2 goaltenders, keep 14 forwards. I mean, either way, you're looking at a possibility of losing a goaltender. So what you're trying to do is mitigate against a potential loss. And you're right. I don't know that, but I look around the league and I see some goaltenders that are hurt and teams that are hurting because their goaltenders are hurt. And again, maybe you just pick them up, somebody on waiver. Let's just use Calvin as an example. You pick up Calvin, maybe you only use him for 2 weeks, then you put him back on waivers. But, that's also a period of time where the Edmonton Oilers lose out too if Jari's not ready to come back.
Yeah, no, well, that's true. And so my understanding is Jari probably late next week is when we could see him potentially. So speaking of goaltending, it's not just goaltending, but Craig, you've got Winnipeg, you got Calgary, and you got Vancouver, and none of them round look like they're going to be a playoff team. Not many thought Calgary or Vancouver would be playoff teams this year, but I think a lot of people thought the Jets would be, and they've lost 11 in a row. You're 11 points out, and I know people keep using St. Louis, so I took the time to go look at St. Louis, and I'm like, okay, with 45 games played, they were 4 points out of the playoffs. It wasn't like they came like massively out of there. It was 4 points. The Jets are in dead last, and they are 11 points out of a playoff spot today behind the team they're facing. Now, hey, it's a huge game tonight, I guess, for the Jets. If you're telling me their chance, it's a 4-pointer against the Kings tonight. But they're in last place. They're 11 points out, and you'd have to jump over 8 teams to get in.
How about this data dump for you? And this will be real quick, okay? So they started out the season 9-3. They've won 6 games in their next 30 games. They have the lowest points percentage by such a wide margin in those 30 games in that period of time, November 1st to today, of any team. It's embarrassing low. They have 40 games left. To get to 95 points, which could be the demarcation point for a playoff spot, they got to win 30 of their next 40. That would be double than the number of games they've won currently to pace. That would be 5 times as many as they've won in their last 30 games. And that would mean they have to win 3 out of every 4 games. It's curtains. It's over. Kevin Shovel-Dayoff and the Winnipeg Jets have to evaluate, okay, what went wrong and how do you fix it? It reminds me of our team in 95, 96 in Dallas, Jason. We'd made the playoffs. We had good players, and it just wasn't working. Bob Gainey stepped down as coach. Ken Hitchcock came in. We made a big trade right before Christmas, getting Joe Nieuwendyk. And and we were the 5th worst team in the league. And it was at that point that we were able to evaluate and look at our team as it was, not as we hoped that it was. And it was from that point on that we really built our team. We had the pieces in place. I think the Winnipeg Jets have pieces in place. This is on Kevin Shovel-Dayoff now. That's the only place to look. It's on Kevin Shovel-Dayoff to look at a team where you got a franchise goaltender, superstar defenseman, Morrissey, superstar center and Scheifele, superstar left winger, a lot of other good pieces. It's on Kevin Shovel-Dayoff now to act. And it's not about acting for this year. It's about the act to move forward for next year. So, because if you're not going to move forward, why would you keep these guys?
Yeah, well, that's true. And like some of the guys they want to move out, like their bottom guys aren't producing anything. Like, Nyquist has done nothing. Nemestikov, he started very well. He had 6 goals in 12 games. Now has none in the last 29 games. Jonathan Toews has no goals in 26 games. And you go down the list, Tanner Pearson. Like, they got a lot of veterans, Craig, that just there's not much left there. Like, I'm looking, they'd be better off to bring up some of the young players here down the stretch. And even if they're not, not going to dominate, at least just kind of give them a taste of what the NHL is. And maybe you lose a few more games and increase your chances. Because I'll say this about the Jets. Why not have a first to the 3rd, 4th pick and then install that guy into your lineup with a Scheifele and a Connor and a Morrissey and a Hellebuck? Like, that's a good way to retool.
It sure is, Jason. I like your thought. The young players, are they going to come in and make a material difference to your season this year? Are they going to help you contend at the level you want to contend at? No, but you whet their appetite. You get their feet wet. You get them into the line. And so now they take that experience and you might rotate them back and forth. They get ready for the off season. Then they get more understanding of what it takes to play in the NHL. And again, that's on Kevin Shovel-Dayoff. This is on Kevin now. This is on every single spotlight should be on Kevin. Because as the manager, this is your team. It's completely his doing. And I'm not suggesting that he deserves to be blamed. I mean, I talk about what happened to our team in 95, 96. So to your point about having a high pick and adding to that, the Pittsburgh Penguins made the playoffs in 88, 89. They missed. And in the 1990 draft, they ended up getting Jaromir Jagr.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a little bit of upside after he made the playoffs, and then we know what happened after that. So to your point, there's no Jaromir Jagr in this draft, just by the way. But you get a good player that can come in and really bolster that group, because that group that I just mentioned is a little bit older, but they're all on long-term contracts. They're all there for the foreseeable future. you better start supplanting them. It was much the same discussion we had with Madado and Hatcher and those young guys that we had that we believed in. And I know Kevin believes in those players or he wouldn't have signed them long term. But now you're going to have to look at an alternative 2025, 2026 world, because the world that they were expecting to be in isn't the world that they're in right now.
Craig Button joins us. Craig, if you had to pick Flyers, Penguins, who do you have more faith can maintain this and stay in the playoffs?
Wow, that's got to be the question of the day. It's hard to bet against Sydney. I love what Rick Tocchet has done in Philadelphia, and Dan Muse has done a really good job in Pittsburgh. It feels to me like the Flyers have a little bit more grizzled depth in their lineup, and to me a little bit less of uncertainty with respect to injury. Like Malkin comes back, we know how good he's been, but we've seen players, Raquel, players come in, they come out, and I think they're taxed a little bit more in Pittsburgh and a little bit more onus on Sydney. I mean, he's shown no fall off in his game. I guess the goaltending in Philadelphia concerns me, but it's not like Pittsburgh has a huge leg up. So in a long soliloquy, I'd say the Flyers.
Ooh, all right. Yeah, like I'll give him credit, man. The Penguins have shocked me. And Brazeau, he's been a really good signing for them. He's worked out very well. And him and Manthan Malkin early on, and then they all got injured, unfortunately. But Crosby's obviously still playing well. Skinner's found his game all of a sudden. But yeah, Dan Muse has done a really good job in Pittsburgh. How concerned should Devils fans be?
Oh, really, really concerned. Again, the same things that plagued them. I'm going to go. So I was just doing a deep dive. I did the Winnipeg Jets game on Thursday versus Edmonton. I'm doing the Winnipeg Jets game tonight with the LA Kings. So I was doing a deep dive from November 1st until today. The Jets have been the worst team in the league by far. But when we go to goals for, goals against per game differential, the New Jersey Devils are the worst in the league. So not only do they not score, but they're not defending very well. They're a low-scoring team. They're almost a no-scoring team, and now they're just exposed. And I can't believe that what happened the other night. To be honest with you, they're booing Luke Hughes and understand I can't understand that. But it's a team that right now looks like a team that is nowhere near competent, near functional. And then you start to hear this. Well, Dougie Hamilton, could they move him? The booing of Luke Hughes, could they move this guy? You got to function as a team. And I feel that when they're so far off, and people said, well, Jack Hughes, we know what happened when Jack Hughes left, but now he's back. It just, they're not a very good team. That's what I would say right now. And, I think hopes were higher for that group, but they don't have they're a lot like the Winnipeg Jets. They have some really good players, but they really fall off drastically with what I would call their bottom 5-6 players in their skater category.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And like Jesper Brad hasn't looked very good for them. Like they just seem like there's a lot of things awry. You heard Jake Allen's comments about his own team. Like we got to work harder. Basically, he's kind of saying that. So, and veteran guy comes out very calmly, didn't just kind of told the truth there that, hey, maybe we think we're better than we are. And there's a little bit of a gap all of a sudden, and even in the Metro Division, right? Like there's definitely a gap in the Atlantic. Like Craig, I look at Toronto and Florida, and I see Detroit is now 9 points up on them. Montreal's 9 points up. Tampa's 8, and they got games in hand, and Tampa's playing great. Like, to me, Tampa's a lock. And I look at Montreal and Detroit, and I'm like, man, they're really closing in on solidifying themselves. So that leaves wild card spots left. And, Buffalo is playing pretty well here now for a month and a half. Like, Toronto and Florida have the most road games left. Neither one has been very good on the road. And I don't know if there's room for both of them to get in right now.
There isn't room for both of them to get in. There simply isn't. The math tells you that. And I think that one of them will be out. And if you're asking me to put my money somewhere, I'm putting it on Florida. I'm not putting it on Toronto. And I give Toronto credit here. Craig Berube, a couple weeks ago, it was looking dire. And, they found a way to dig in and play hard, much what you were talking about, the lack thereof of compete and digging in New Jersey. And that's a good sign for a manager. When your team is functioning, it might not be getting the results, but there's an effort and there's an attention to what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. And I think Toronto right now is demonstrating that, and that's a good sign for a manager to look at how his coach is influencing the team. So I see that there, but not room for both, Jason. Not in my view, because Washington's been hit with some injuries, and you look at Washington, Carolina over on that side. We talked about Pittsburgh, we talked about Philadelphia. All of a sudden now you're in a fight for a wild card spot with teams that are playing better than you, and I think that's what eliminates one of those teams for certain from the playoffs.
Connor McDavid has himself on a little bit of a heater right now with 41 points in 17 games. If he extends his streak tomorrow, and I'd be willing to go to playalberta.ca and put a few shekels down that he'll do it tomorrow night, get to 18 games, and he'll be at like 2.4 points per game. Well, I guess unless he gets 3 points in the game, and then he'll be even higher. And he'd be the 70th streak of 18 or more games in NHL history. The only guy who's averaged more than 2.4 points per game in one of those streaks is the great one, Wanye Gretzky, and he did it 7 different times. This is not, the streak might not be like, it's not a 30 gamer yet, might be, but his production on this streak, Craig, is something you just don't see very often. Like he has ramped up his game to a level that outside of maybe the 24 playoffs, I'm not sure I've ever seen him play better. And in a regular season, I'm not sure I have.
It's always fascinating when we talk about great players. And you think about, we use the term, well, what's their ceiling? There's no ceiling on Connor McDavid. There simply isn't, because his brilliance is predicated on exceptional thinking. We know how great his hands and his skating is, but his level of intensity, his level of competitiveness is so high. So that drives him to levels that if you want to put a ceiling on it, you don't limit Connor, because Connor doesn't limit himself. And that's the beauty of him. It always reminds me of Gretzky's great comment quote. He goes, I always wanted to be at my very best every night because I didn't know who might be coming to watch me for the first time, and I didn't want to disappoint them. And that's the fire that burns within Connor McDavid too. I mean, we know what he means to the Edmonton Oilers. We know that he is the best skilled, most developed player in NHL history, perhaps, and certainly right now. And, it was interesting. Nathan McKinnon had that great run. Looked like he was going to establish himself as, maybe not establish himself, but maybe create a discussion and unseat Connor McDavid as the best player in the NHL. And Connor said, hey, hang on a second. Let's just stop. I played deep into the playoffs the last 2 years. You know what? We're trying to find our way here. We'll get there. I mean, last night in the game versus Winnipeg's playing a really good game. It's 3-1 late in the second period. Nugent Hopkins makes a great pass to Draisaitl. Draisaitl's looking for McDavid. All of a sudden, it's 3-2. And to me, I wasn't in the building in Winnipeg. It felt like the air came right out of the building right at that. And so not only is he brilliant, not only is he a great player, he's also a dream killer if you're playing against him. And Jason, you and me talk lots over the years. We talk a lot of different things. We talk about team building. 97 and 29 throw the idea of what exactly is a perfect team upside down, because those two guys turn the game on its ear in the snap of a finger, and that is something that I think is one of the most unique things in the NHL. Last time I saw this, and I was young, so I'm going more on history. It was Esposito and Orr.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were really dominant.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I remember when the Gretzky and Coffey used to have that set play where Gretzky would just stand at the blue line and then Coffey would wind it up, and we kind of see that. Well, that's actually what that that power play goal against Nashville reminded me of when Draisaitl came on the brakes to Bouchard, and then he hits McDavid at full speed, and you're just like, what do you do? Right? Like there's like the Oilers power play, Craig, has actually gotten better than it was in the past. Like, and everyone's, oh yeah, they took away Leon Draisaitl's one time. I'm like, oh yeah, it's really hurting them, isn't it? And, like, oh yeah, you mean so they've adapted? Because that's what they do. I'm not sure. That's what makes the Oilers power play so great. And I always laugh at people, oh, power play merchant. I'm like, if it was so easy, why don't the other?
It's funny you say that, power play merchant, right? You know, I laugh. I sit there and I go, okay, so what are you going to take away from the Oilers on the power play? Like, what are you going to try to take away? And you go, okay, I'll go stand next to McDavid. Well, okay, well, that means you're playing 4-on-3. Well, I'll go stand next to Bouchard. And I can go through the whole thing. Like, the five of them out on the ice, like, are so unique and so good. I mean, that goal against the Nashville Predators, I mean, it looked like Connor had jumped on an outdoor rink with 12-year-olds. And I'm going, this is the NHL. And he made this look like it was kids' play. And that's how great he is. And the power play, you know, you think about the winning goal against Winnipeg Thursday night. You know, they drive down. Oh, here comes Bouchard right down the Main Street. Boom, winning goal over. They beat you in so many different ways. And, you know, the other thing I like to hear too, Jason, is when I hear, well, they're not going to be able to keep playing these guys for the full 2 minutes on a power play. I said, oh, yeah, why not? Why not? Like, at some point in time, they're so good, and they're going to get the second tier of penalty killers, and they'll make you pay there. They're just too good.
Oh, God, no, they are. Like look at that. Like, I look at Bouchard's goal last night.
Oh.
How many defensemen made? Like, I think Evan Bouchard's shooting prowess gets so overlooked. Like, there's not many guys who are that accurate from that distance who shoot hard enough to beat goalies cleanly, consistently. It's ridiculous.
It is. Well, the game against Calgary that they lost on the 27th, it was late in the game, and he rang it right off the post through about five players that were in there. And I mean, it's heavy, it's hard, it's accurate. It really is something else. And again, the weapons that they have out there, and it's not just the weapons they have with their skills. It's the weapon they have with unpredictability. And then you can throw something at them, and they go, okay, well, deal with this. And then you deal with that, and they go, okay, deal with this. Like, they're so flexible in their abilities. It really is impressive. I wanted to just bring up one thing here quickly when we talk about Calgary, Winnipeg, Vancouver being near the bottom of the league. The other team that's on a free fall in Canada is Ottawa. Keep this in mind. They do not have a first-round draft pick this year in the draft.
Yeah.
And there's only 31 draft picks, first-round draft picks in this year's draft, because they have to give up this year's first-round pick as a result of the Donoff situation.
Great.
So there's only 31 first-round draft picks this year. And Ottawa now, with their free fall, and they don't look like they're coming out of this. Like, think about that, Jason, when we talk about four Canadian teams that could be picking in the top 5, 6, 7, and Ottawa's out of the picture. Like, imagine that you're going to have a season like Ottawa, and you have no pick, and they won't be part of the lottery, but it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, so they just remove their odds from the lottery and then give it to the other teams?
They have to readjust the odds for the 15. Well, I mean,
it would be crazy.
They're going to have to adjust the odds for the 15 non-playoff teams that will have a pick in the first round.
Yeah, because it would be wild if let's say they finished 11th and they had them in there, and then they were like, well, wherever you finish, you'll do it, and then they win the lottery and they're the number one pick, and they have to veto it. Like, my God! But it is crazy to think that. Like, I wonder if the Senators try to trade somebody to get a first rounder in return from it. So we'll see. Because they're another.
Yeah, well, it's interesting too, because again, like, they don't have a first round draft pick to trade, right?
Yeah.
So, so what do you do? And I was told they will not be part of the lottery. Like, there will not be Ottawa as part of the lottery if they're a non-playoff team. So, imagine that would be double whammy for them. You don't have a first round draft pick, and they win the lottery. Like, talk about feeling shame.
Yeah, not good at all. Craig, great stuff, buddy. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the NFL playoffs, and we'll chat with you next Friday.
Quick question: is Connor a Chargers fan?
Connor Halley is a big Chargers fan. Yeah.
Well, we're enemies then, because I'm a Patriots fan.
Oh, you might have to send him a note. You guys got to have a little side bet on this one.
We will. Like, we'll figure out. Connor, send me a note, whatever you want to do. And I'm a Harbaugh fan. I love Jimmy, and and so it's. But I'm going with my Patriots. But maybe I can't lose on this.
Maybe. Awesome. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a good weekend.
You too. That's Craig Button from TSN. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda. 59 years and counting as St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
454. This one comes from Jason. Hey guys, why wouldn't the Oilers call up Steve Staios, offer them Pickard and Mangiapane? Helps them with their goalie. You take Mangiapane. Well, they did just sign James Reimer to a PTO, but you know what? I like your thinking there, Jay. I like your thinking. Right, help them, help you. Would you do that if you were Edmonton? You might. Yeah, if it could get you rid of Mangiapane straight across, sure. I'd have to look at the Sens cap because that's taken on 4.6 mil. Would they be able to do it? I have to look it up. But I don't mind that thinking at all. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick. You have 2 days left for their Boxing Day deals. It's extended. They've got some stuff they're clearing out, and you're getting unreal deals on mattresses, on appliances, big screen TVs, and more. So check it out at The Brick and thebrick.com and get up 50% off in-store only on appliances at The Brick.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Okay, questions today, courtesy of Connor Halley. Question number 1, has there been a most pleasant surprise for you this season with anyone on the Oilers roster?
It sounds crazy to say, Declan, but the output of Connor McDavid has surprised me. You'd think nothing could surprise us at this point, but he's on a torrid pace, even by his own standards.
I'm going to go with Ty Emberson. I think Ty Emberson, a lot of people were questioning whether he could play. Ty Emberson has been very solid. And if you look at, he's playing basically the same minutes that he played last year. And the team's given up a lot more goals, but he isn't. So I'm going to say Ty Emberson. I think he is. He's played very steady, quietly as the number 6 defense.
Prediction for tomorrow's matchup with the Kings, then, as is customary, bold prediction.
Well, I think the Oilers are actually going to win big. So that'd be my bold position. The Oilers are going to win by 3 or more goals against the Kings. And, the easy prediction is the McDavid's point streak continues.
I think the Oil will also win. 5-2 was what I had at Foredeck. And Iceman multi-point game. That's my bold prediction.
Naturally.
He's due.
Yeah, sure. Question number 3. Who are your winners this weekend in the NFL?
I will start in the AFC. God, you know what? Those games are all like, they're kind of tight. I'm gonna take Houston on the road, and then I'm gonna take New England at home. Sorry, Connor. And I'm gonna take Jacksonville. Over in the NFC, the Rams, the Bears. That's the hardest one for me. The 49ers, the Eagles. I'll go with the hometown Eagles.
I'll go in the NFC, the Rams. Take the Packers over the Bears. Remember that I said that. That's my big one. 49ers. Over in the AFC, Bills, Chargers. I took that for our man, Connor. I actually think the Patriots are going to win, but I'm trying to be on his side in this. And the Steelers.
All right. Oh, we're pretty much opposite, except Jacksonville and the Rams.
Question number 4. Any surprises or thoughts on the women's hockey roster for Canada at the Olympics?
No, my only thought is it looked like, I think based on the roster, they went a little bit younger and quicker because in their matchup against you, because let's be honest, like there's very few sport in where you can say they're building a team to beat USA, and USA's trying, and right now the USA is kind of spanking them. So I think they need to be a little bit quicker. So I think that's the smart.
I don't necessarily have many thoughts, Declan, but I am excited to watch it. It's definitely part of the winter rotation this year, and go Canada.
Definitely. Question number 5. Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page celebrating his 82nd birthday today. If you were creating a super band, who would you have on vocals, guitar, bass, and drums?
It is wild that these old rockers are living as long as they
Still going?
Like the Rollings, like Keith Richards still walks among us in 2026. The answer for every instrument is Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
My super band would just be Limp Bizkit.
I'm kind of the same train of thought as you. I like that.
Really?
Not a big Limp Bizkit guy back in the day?
No, I like Limp Bizkit, but I don't think I could take the whole one. I guess if I was going to do it, vocals, I'm going to go Freddie Mercury from Queen. Guitar, Jimi Hendrix, I'll probably take Bonham from Led Zeppelin on the drums. And bass guitar. I'm not good enough of a musician to really. So I guess I'll go with
Flea.
Yeah, from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
He's like the most famous bass player in the world. You can always go Flea.
Yeah, well, he's pretty good.
Totally.
So that would be mine. Jack, you got any answers on that?
Oh, just everyone from Matchbox 20.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's not break. Let's not fix what's not broken.
I did think of Chris Cornell for a second. Like that guy can really sing.
The only change I might, if I was throwing this together, fantasy band, I might have Clapton on guitar.
Yeah. The other guy, the one guy who could maybe play all of them and have the vocals would be Prince. Like that guy was uber talented and everything. And he could play the piano like sick. So I don't know if he could do the bass guitar, but man, I saw him shred a guitar when we saw him live at in concert, and I was just like, this guy does. And then he gets on the piano, and you're just like, wow, that guy was extremely talented as a musician.
How does the super band thing work, Declan? Is it like a super team? Like if you had Slash and Jimi Hendrix on the same band, just by nature of their greatness, would they create amazing songs?
I think it has to work like that,
Yeah.
right? Like you have to assume the sounds will mesh and the harmonies will be there. I might even take Adele on vocals.
Oh, she can sing.
She can sing.
Oh, God. There's lots of people that can. Hey, Lady Gaga. Now she can sing too. Are you kidding me? And like, I remember her singing a cappella. And I'm just like where you get kind of shivers. She was that good for me. Like live in person, phenomenal.
Be hard to build a band around though. Somebody that talented, right? Because you never want to drown them out.
Yeah, but she, remember when she sang, I think she did it with Metallica. Am I dreaming this up? I'm pretty sure it was her and Metallica. Did, yeah. And I remember they were like, oh my God, like, cause she could go deep. Like she could really, you know what? She could grow out her hair. She could get in there, get some hairspray on it, have an 80s rocker hairdo, and away she goes. Like, she's pretty talented vocalist as well. So there'd be a lot of good ones, man. Like it would be somebody who can really sing. Like that's just such a skill to appreciate. It's just kind of like, you know what? Sit there, be soothing. They can be like entertaining. It's like even your friends who is somebody in your family that's like decent around the fire. It's good. Like if you're like, okay, this is good. Unfortunately, everybody probably has that family member who thinks they can sing and they've been singing the whole time. And it's not necessarily that good. And you're just like, okay, like, hey, does anybody need a drink? I'm just going to go get one here. So yeah, it's always funny stuff. So quick break. We got a lot of texts coming in for Dave Grohl. They liked him. What about Eddie Van Halen? Sure. No, why not? There's we did get a lot for Dave Grohl. That guy plays everything. So that's true too. Some pretty good guy. Hey guys, what about the crooner? Get Bublé on there. Could he sing rock though?
He's a pretty talented guy.
Yeah. But has he ever sung like, I don't think I've ever seen him.
He's done covers somewhere along the line.
Has he done a cover of Rock Band?
Probably.
Okay. All right. Someone's probably been to his concert where he has. Why not? They have a little fun with that. That'd be great. Let's get to Declan Kruger in a sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. They're hoping 2026 is just good for you as 2025 was for them, helping feed over 500 families. They look to continue helping out in the community in 2026. Stop in or go online and see what they got. NorthgateGM.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
3 games tonight in the NHL. Chicago hosting Washington, Kings in Winnipeg, and the Blues heading to Utah to play the Mammoth lone game in the PWHL. Vancouver and Ottawa, and the Team Canada women's Olympic hockey roster was announced earlier today. Emmerin Smashmeyer of Boonheim, Alberta, the lone Albertan on the team. At the junior level, the Oil Kings continue their road trip. They're in Saskatoon. In the BCHL, Saints host Okotoks, and out in Spruce Grove, while Chilliwack plays the Crusaders in Sherwood Park. In the AJ, Devon, Drayton Valley, and Bonnyville, all with home games just outside our city, all with puck drops of 7 p.m. Raptors back at it in just a couple minutes' time here, taking on the Celtics from TD Garden. 9 other games, including Memphis and the Thunder, and the Knicks in Phoenix. College football playoff action. The Peach Bowl will see Indiana, the number 1 overall seed and undefeated, take on 5th seed Oregon in a rematch. Kick off for that one at about 5:30. Free outfielder Max Kepler has been suspended for 80 games by the MLB after testing positive for a performance-enhancing substance. And Anthony Davis is set to be out for months and may need surgery on his hand following ligament damage. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
When the ground freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does. Because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear our extra warm clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing.
Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic oath to do no harm and act in the best interest of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca. Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock, Positive Fridays. You make your way home. Take a little extra time. Just relax. You made it through the week. If you're a sports fan, you've got lots of sports to sport this weekend. Of course, the NFL playoffs start tomorrow, Sunday, and on Monday, you have the Edmonton Oilers at home. If you're an Oil Kings fan, they're on the road in Saskatoon tonight, and they got some home games coming up next week. Also, the big wrestling in a few weeks. Whew. Eddie Steele, Carius might be getting in the ring. Oh, gee. Now, there's talk about Laddie Schmid, but I'm like, I don't think Laddie Schmid's allowed in. Like, those checking, like, Laddie Schmid, like, there would need to be a spotlight with him. I'm not sure I would see him. If he laid on the white mat, I'm not sure I could see him. So he might need a shirt just to see. So, will be a lot of fun. And hey, all the odds, you want to check it out. Orders. Connor McDavid, 18-game point streak. If there was ever a game where I look to say it is going to happen at home tomorrow night, like McDavid's flying. And you look at his reaction to that goal, and their team's having fun. He is on a real, almost different level, even for him, which is rare to say. But there's only 4 active players, actually 3 active players who have had a 20-game point streak. Patrick Kane has 2 of them, 20 and 26 Crosby had a 25er in 2010, and Mitch Marner had a 23-pointer. But like Mitch Marner had 32 points. Crosby did have 50 in his 25 games, pretty solid. Kane's 20-gamer, he had 43 points in that one. But McDavid's already got 41, and he's only at 17. So imagine we went on like a big heater there. Plays Nashville again. Would anybody be shocked if we got 3 points again against the Preds? Where Leon Draisaitl loves scoring in Nashville. He's got 13 goals in his last 8 games in Nashville. So if McDavid can get points against the Kings, pretty sure he can get points against the Blackhawks and the Preds to get to 20. So we'll see. Let's get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. Before the roadways are working, they're there. Before you get that yellowheaded freeway, they're there. GS Construction. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Doing pretty fair, Jay. It's Friday afternoon. Weekends ahead. Let's go, baby.
It is. The Edmonton Oilers, I don't even think they necessarily played that bad. And, definitely the second goal, I don't think Pickard would tell you he liked. But they were down 3-1. And then they decided to say, you know what? We're not giving up anything. The Jets had 5 shots. There was a period of over 20 minutes, and I think it was 36 seconds or 17 seconds, one of the two, where the Jets didn't have a shot on goal, and the Oilers scored 3 goals and had 16 shots in that time period. Like, that is some severe domination. I know it's a team that's struggling right now, but it doesn't matter. It's rare to go outshoot a team 16-0 in 20 minutes and outscore them 3-0.
Yeah, it's rare to dominate any NHL team, even the very worst one. I mean, they get an asterisk. Like, Winnipeg's in last place, but in my eyes, they're not the worst NHL team. I guess the standings tell you they are, but they're not some rebuild that's a million miles from winning, that's got a bunch of kids that, they won the President's Trophy just last year. So to dominate that team that way, it speaks well for the Oilers. It does tell you how absolutely fragile the Winnipeg Jets were when McDavid scored that goal and made it 3-2. And then they all went in their dressing room and they all concocted ways they were going to blow it this time. And they came out in the third period, like, just ready to get beat, just ready to get beat. I felt for, like, Winnipeg's just in it, man. They're in it deep. And maybe they need somebody to be a hero there. I would look at the goalie. I would look at Connor Halley and say, at what point are you going to be the best guy on the ice for one of these games?
Yeah, it would help, right? It would help. He's got to be. And they're taking on the Kings tonight. The Kings got all sorts of injury issues all of a sudden. Kopitar's out, Moore's out, Armia's out, Corey Perry's away for personal reasons, and they're going 11-7. And they couldn't score beforehand. Like, the Jets don't score a ton either. Like, this might be like the most low event game ever. But last night, Spec, Kasperi Kapanen. He's come back now, and in 2 games has made a real big impact. I love, like, that play was like a vintage. Remember when Messier and Anderson used to do that? You go behind the net and then you back short side, and like Podkolzin, very quietly, he's second on the Oilers in 5-on-5 goals now. He's the only one behind McDavid in double digits.
That's pretty good. So he's slowly earning his keep on that second line next to Draisaitl. I mean, listen, if you ask me, you got Draisaitl, who's a first-line center on, 27 teams in this league, or maybe more, playing between a couple guys that are bottom 6 wingers, frankly. I don't think that on a really good team, either Podkolzin or Kasperi Kapanen are top 6 wingers. But you know what? Podkolzin, if his numbers keep going north, prove me wrong, right? He's found a way, as a guy that doesn't score much and doesn't have a ton of creativity, he's found a way to be a really useful guy riding shotgun for one of the best centermen in the game. And as for Kapanen, let's see what happens. Like, he's, if you're asking me, I don't see him sitting in the top 6 for the rest of the season. I don't think he's a top 6 winger on a good team, but he's fitting in there right now. And who knows, man, maybe he's a new man, Jay. Maybe he's a new man.
Well, the one thing about Kapanen, Spec, is he brings them, like, he is thick. Right, like, he is 250. I don't know what he is, but he is thick
and fast.
Yeah, and fast and powerful. And, it might have taken him a lot longer, but if he can, consistency was his issue. It's not skill. He's got the skill to be a top 6 player. Does he have the consistency to do it? And that's what we'll find out here. But If he does,
when was he drafted? When was he drafted?
He was drafted, 2014. I got to look up the year. I can't remember the exact year, but it's been a while. And you know what? It takes a lot of guys, some guys takes a lot longer, and some guys never figure it out. 2014. I was right. 2014. Yeah.
Okay. So it does take some guys a long time. Not 12 years.
Well,
right? Not many guys. It took 12 years to figure. Like when you're drafted in the first round, as a winger, you're a top 6 winger. You're expected to be a top 6 winger. That's what we thought you were when you're 18, and we all know what that gets you, Jay. That and $4 will buy you Starbucks. But
yeah,
so a lot of guys, it takes them a couple of years to figure out what they are. It takes them 5 years, or some guys emerge. Like look at Slavkovsky. He's like 22, and all of a sudden he's looking like the guy they drafted, man. He's looking great in Montreal. Not many guys take 11 years and turn into the top line, top 6 winger you thought they were. If Kapanen does it, man, I'll line up to write the story, and I think it's awesome. But he's a rare bird for a guy. If he figures it out and becomes consistently a top 6 guy, I can't think of a comparable in my career that's taken that long to get where he's supposed to get to. How about you?
All he would have to do is and he doesn't have to do it every year. He just has to do it for 5 months. Right? That's really kind of how I look at it, right? Like I don't care if he's deemed a top 6 forward for 5 years. They just need him to play like one now, right? That's kind of how it is. Like it's totally true. And there's lots of guys who have got on, strings where, they played well. Like, hey, look at Fernando Pisani. He scored like a top 6 winger when it mattered in the Stanley Cup in the playoffs, right? He didn't do it his whole career, but he did it for 2 months.
He did it for 2 months out of his whole career. Yep. That's exactly what he did.
And so, and there's been other guys who've done that. And, and Kapanen, the thing on Edmonton is they don't need like a guy, like it'd be nice if you had another 40-goal scorer. But the truth of the matter is they don't need another 40-goal scorer. They already got 2 of them. And McDavid and Draisaitl for sure. And Hyman's close. He's probably more of a 30-goal scorer realistically. So you look at that and you say, hey, if this guy could be, and Kapanen has scored 20 goals before. So if he scored 20 again or is on pace to do it, it wouldn't be a shock. It would be a pretty large gap of 8 years in between 20 goals. So that for sure would be different. But when you look, and I've said this, Spec, I've watched him, you watch him in practice. If you just look at skill and you look in practice, Kasperi Kapanen might be the 3rd most skilled forward on the team behind McDavid and Draisaitl.
Well, that's great. And unfortunately, they don't give your team any points for how you practice.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. But so to me, it's consistency. It's not the skill that he has the skill. Does he have the consistency to do it over and over? And since the playoffs last year, he's been very consistent. Small sample size, but he has
really small sample. I mean, he got hurt earlier this year. He's barely played. So listen, this isn't me cheering against him. In fact, like I say, I think it'd be a great story. It takes let's just say going forward, Podkolzin is locked onto the left side with Draisaitl. Okay, let's just say that. Podkolzin's not a creative player. He doesn't put it on Draisaitl's tape for one-timers. That's not his thing. He goes and gets you pucks, and when you give it to him, he's got a real nice shot, and some of them go in. Great. The guy that plays on the other side, it's a tricky fit with Draisaitl because Draisaitl's not a centerman who just where you want like just a finisher because all he does is pass. Draisaitl's a 50-goal man, so you need a guy that can get it to Draisaitl at the right time, and you need a guy that they say some people will tell you Draisaitl is one of the the best passer in the league. I mean, he's right up there. So you need a finisher. That's why Roslovic's been so good on that side. So it takes an all-around guy to play with Draisaitl. Draisaitl is the opposite of a one-trick pony, and he's such a good cerebral player that we all know this, Jay. Not anyone can just step in next to the best player and fit with them. You got to be able to think like McDavid and like Draisaitl, or they quickly figure out that you're too dumb for them. And it's just not an easy place to play. You got to have skills and you got to be smart. And hey, maybe Kasperi Kapanen is going to be that guy the rest of the year. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Like, I like this play. Hey, creativity. He had it on that Podkolzin goal, no question about it. So
he did, absolutely.
Yes. We'll see where he goes from here. The Oilers, Spec. This will be chance number 8. at winning 3 games in a row tomorrow night. And
St. Louis didn't do it. St. Louis didn't do it the other night.
No, they didn't do it. And everyone's like, oh, Gregor, it doesn't matter. I'm like, of course it matters. What the hell are you guys talking about? Like, they haven't been able to string together 3 consecutive games where you win. Like, that's regular season doesn't matter. It matters because it matters on matchups. It matters on seeding. It matters on a lot of things. And so this is their 8th time. I'm going to say it, Spec. I'll say it right now. I'm guaranteeing you they will win tomorrow night.
Wow.
The LA Kings are banged up. I think the Oilers have finally figured it out, and they will win tomorrow night.
Wow, look at you. Guaranteeing to win just like Mess.
Yeah, well, the difference is I'm not playing. And it's a regular season game. It's not like it's a playoff game where they're facing elimination. Yeah. So,
yeah, I remember.
I think they finally figured it out that, okay, we got, and they could go on a little bit of a run here. Like, you look at their schedule, Spec. Chicago, Nashville. Now the Blackhawks get Connor Bedard back. That's good news for them. It's good news for Oilers fans because you get to watch them play. Who doesn't want to watch the exciting players play?
Right.
But they beat Nashville for fun usually. And then you got the Islanders at home. That'll be a hard game, man. So did you see Schaefer, by the way? The other day?
They're unbelievable. Schaefer's the next Cale Makar here.
And then they have like that huge homestand of 7 games in Jan, and then I think it's Toronto to start in February. So like Edmonton's set up here. They're not going to win every game, but they're set up for their next 10 games, Spec, to have a pretty good run.
Well, and this is what a good team does. Like, we looked at this schedule in October or whenever it came out in July and said, okay, if you can survive the first half and get to January, you could really make some hay. Everyone's, we're not surprised by this. Here come all the home games. We've been looking forward to these home games. The Oilers have paid their price. They've played all their road games. They're set up now to make some hay. They're at home. The games are spaced every second night. The opponents are the opponents. Some are good, some aren't so good, whatever. But they're in a position, to really make some hay here. And let's see. They didn't start out great, but they seem like they've righted their ship, right? They got a couple nice games in a row here. Let's see how they do against LA. The third game thing would be nice to kind of get that off the, get everyone to quit thinking about it. And good teams put together streaks of 5 and 6 in a row, right? Not just 3. Mm-hmm. Like, hell, Buffalo won 10 straight. They're Buffalo, man. That's Buffalo winning 10 straight. So, you need to win 5 in a row, lose 1, and win another 4 in a row. That's what good teams do. We've seen the Oilers do it for years. They look like they're ready to do that for me, Jay. They look like they're in a position to fulfill everything we said about their January. They knock wood. They've got pretty good health. Their game's coming around. They're surviving well without Jari. Their goaltending's been pretty good. I know we didn't like a goal last night. Big deal. Try having Hellebuck. He wins the Vezina and he lets in 4 every time you play him. So, it's all lining up. It's all there for them. Let's see if they can pull it off.
Spec, have yourself a great weekend. Enjoy the game. We will talk to you at the rink.
All right, TJ.
There you go. That's Mark Spec for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. We'll take a quick break, and LT will join us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9. Check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vinny and Donnan have to offer. Visit vinnyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jeff Brav and 118th.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com. Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order. Enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Aaron Comrie getting the start tonight for the Winnipeg Jets against the LA Kings. Jets have lost 11 in a row, man. You got to try so. Well, plus they played last night, so it doesn't make any sense. Why would you play Hellebuck tonight? So we'll see if the Jets can get a win tonight. Is the Gregor Show. Thanks as always for listening. Thanks for watching. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province, playalberta.ca. When you're there, check out the Jason Gregor Show. We always have a few special bets with some odds boosts for you. Good luck. Check it out, playalberta.ca. As it's time to go to the oil report, brought to you by Go Auto. 15,000 vehicles to choose from, and they're big in giving back to the community. They have donated over $25 million to local charities, courtesy of Go Auto as Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown, also writes at The Athletic. You can hear him noon to 2 every weekday here on Sports 1440. Joins us now. LT, what was the biggest positive for you last night in the Oilers' victory?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, McDavid was just fire, and he has been. I loved Hyman's shot, but I'll say that even though their line allowed 2 goals, I like the spark I saw from the Roslovic with the 2 young kids. I don't know that Isaac Howard is going to stay up all year. Who knows? But I like this little window of opportunity they're having on this third line. I'd like to see them more, and I saw enough, I think, and I hope the coach did to bring them again, because the Jets were. I was a little disappointed in the Jets. They were up 3-1, and it felt like as soon as, well, I don't know whether it was the Frederick fight or the McDavid goal or whatever, but they folded like a cheap suit. Unlike you, Jason, I've had many cheap suits, and that's what the Jets were doing. Is they looked like they defeated themselves, and I was hoping for a little better effort, because Winnipeg fans deserve a winner, but I was also impressed with the Oilers, and I was impressed with that third line. So I'll say the third line, not because of what they did, but because the promise they showed.
Yeah, their speed's good. They had a few, like there was the 2 plays that was like tic tac, really quick passing, and it didn't go tic tac goal, right? It just went tic tac save. But that was the thing that kind of stood out to me. And you looked, if they can start to finish those. Now I know they were on the ice for 2 goals against. One of them, that's the third goal is pretty unlucky. I'm not really sure you can. I don't know how it went in, to be honest. Just kind of went through a maze. That's not a bad goal. I didn't love the second goal by Pickard, but the third goal I don't really have much of an issue with. Some of those are going to happen every now and then. But
I agree.
They do have some speed for sure. And there's really no pressure on them, because right now McDavid's line's playing well. And I know it's only 2 games, but the Kapanen, Draisaitl, Podkolzin lines looked really good for 2 games.
Oh yeah. And it's the kind of wingers that Leon does well. He does well with everybody, but they're bigger guys. And Kapanen, that damn hockey player, man. He always does that back pass for the Podkolzin goal.
I loved it.
Oh my God, how many wingers has Leon had? And I mean, I'm talking like over 11 years now. I know there's been one at least, and Hyman could do all kinds of things, but that's just a high. There's not many guys who can do that, and he did it. Like, you can say, oh, it was fluky. No, that was what he's trying for, man. Yeah. That was beautiful.
Oh yeah, it was great play, no question about it. We had the question earlier with Craig Button, and he said, you know what, I would just send Ingram down once Jari's healthy, because with all the issues around the league. Now, Ottawa did just sign Reimer, and San Jose traded for Laurent Brossoit. But Craig was like, you know what, a team might just claim Calvin Pickard, even if it's only for a week or 2, because they're trying to get through with all the goalie injuries. So do you think the Oilers put Ingram down because they can before 9 games? Do they carry 3 goalies, or do you think they risk it on waivers with Pickard?
Well, I mean, I have not heard anybody in the Oilers talk about, they've talked about, wanting, Pickard to obviously play well, but I haven't heard any idea that they're going to, make a decision on him.
Yeah, I'm asking you, what would you do if you're the Oilers?
Well, I'd keep Ingram. But that said, here's the problem. Exactly what Craig Button says. If you let's just say, you put Pickard on waivers and he gets claimed, and then 3 games later you got it in. Now you're on that roller coaster, right? And you're Carolina Hurricanes, they just claim goalies. I swear to God they do, Jason. There are teams out there who just go, I can screw up this team, I'll just claim a goalie. And I for me, if I've got a guy, if I can send him down, I think that's what the Oilers do. I would be more aggressive because I really like Connor Ingram. I think he's going to be here next year, honestly. But having said that, you haven't seen him a lot. Relying on him is a big deal. Pickard is an incumbent. I don't think he's lost his spot. So I think the Oilers will keep Pickard. I would keep Ingram.
LT, what do you make of these Buffalo Sabres? Have you ever seen anything like this?
It makes me mad because I've been writing articles saying Alex Tuch is a great target for the Oilers, and they keep winning, so there's no way they're going to trade him. I'm happy for Buffalo Sabres fans because that team it's like when the Oilers started winning, they took over the baton of the Finna build, and it's been forever. And so this winning streak that they have, and they're passing other teams, for today's NHL, for the Bettman era NHL, they're doing really well that way. And I hope it continues. I don't know that it will, but I hope it continues. And I'm glad to see it. They have so many good, young, talented players. Maybe keep a few of those guys. God, they're always trading really talented guys.
Well, speaking of the trade, though, basically, Doan has matched Peterka. Peterka has 15 goals and 29 points in Utah. Doan has 14 goals and 29 points. And they got Kesselring in that deal, and they got another pick. Like, that Peterka trade for Buffalo is actually looking really good.
Yeah, they right now they've got lightning in a bottle. I don't know, I think maybe just these young defensemen are maturing. Maybe that's part of it. And they do have talent up front. Like, Tuch is a hell of a player. Yeah. If you look at what his performance is based on his contract, guys, that's a value deal, right? So, but they could never get it together. And maybe it's all come together, the defense and everything or whatever. And the whole West Eastern Conference is just nuts. Like, you can, you go to a little mini slump. You're Boston right now, Toronto a while ago. You can go down in a quick hurry. But right now, Buffalo looks like $1 billion.
Yeah, they look good. LT, give me your thoughts. NFL, who's your upset of the weekend?
The boys talk on the lowdown today. They were, pretty strong on Pittsburgh losing, and I didn't. Pittsburgh was the underdog, but
I'll have to cut off LT. I don't know where he is. It's in a cave somewhere. What happened? All of a sudden, is so yeah. It's not your signal. It was just LT's phone. So we'll have to find out. LT can text in what his answer was.
I think he wanted to say take the Packers over the Bears. I think he was leading up to that.
I think he was going to say, he's probably going to say something about the Eagles, and because he doesn't like the Eagles and doesn't trust the Eagles, even though he loves the Eagles. So probably what he would have said. So we'll see where it goes. But you know what? There's some interesting games there, like Jacksonville and Buffalo, and obviously the Bears and the Packers and the Eagles and the 49ers. I think most people think the Panthers and the Rams might be the easiest one, but even like the Steelers and Houston's been really good, but you're on the road. And then, the Chargers and the Patriots. And like the Chargers, if they could magically protect their quarterback, I think they could win. But the thing is, the Pats were really good at beating teams downfield. Well, the Chargers' best asset is they don't get beat downfield on deep balls. So, there are some unique matchups here. The Bills were the best running team. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the best run defense. So who's going to win?
I'm not into the NFL for very long, but is this more of a wide open postseason than has been for quite some time?
A little bit. I think it's for various reasons, because you don't have the Chiefs, right? And you don't have the Bengals, and you don't have some of the star quarterbacks, but like Drake May was a star quarterback this year, right? And now Matthew Stafford's over, but he's still really good. And I know the Eagles, they didn't wow anyone in the regular season, but they're still the defending champs, right? And the 49ers, they scored a ton of points. So it is kind of odd. Like the two number one seeds, or the two if you would have asked anybody at the start of the year, I don't know if anybody would have had Broncos and Seahawks as the two number one seeds. Like, I don't know if I haven't seen anybody. I'm sure there's maybe someone out there, but I haven't seen anybody's prognostications of that. So that probably makes it like, are they good? I think it's wide open because there's not a truly dominant team. I think there's lots of good teams, but there doesn't look like, okay, I think this is them to beat team, right? Like, no one's like, oh my God, the Broncos, they're so tough, and if you beat them, it'll be shocking, right? Or the Seahawks, because everyone's like, yeah, but it's Sam Darnold. Like, what's he going to do? So that's what makes it entertaining, I think. It's going to be I'm looking forward to the weekend, because honestly, like, Deck follows it a lot closer than I do. Like, Deck, do you see any obvious wins?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think the most obvious win is probably the Cinderella team we all want to see get out of the first round, and that's the LA Rams over Carolina. And I know they beat Carolina. I know Carolina beat them already, excuse me, and I know Carolina's at home. But the reality is when both of these teams play to their capabilities, one team is the far greater team. It was evidenced by the record. It's evidenced by the spread on the road. So that would be the only one, even though they're at home, that would be the only one I look at and say, like, yeah, that is a shocking first round win.
But do you see a win that you're expecting other than the Rams?
Houston beating Pittsburgh. I mean, I just think Carolina and Pittsburgh were such weak division winners. Like Pittsburgh's 10-7. I don't think they're even that good. I don't think the record's indicative of what kind of a team they are. And Houston, like the way they're playing, the way their defense is rolling, probably the best unit in the NFL right now. I would be surprised if Pittsburgh and Carolina, even though they're both at home, get out of the wild card matchup this weekend.
All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up. It's been a busy, fast-moving Positive Friday edition of the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
A few different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Start your day with a blast of sports. Kevin Carius, along with Brandon Douglas, brings the fire, the fun, and the fearless takes. Weekdays, 7 to 11. Text Kevin, 883-401-1440. Mornings with Sports 1440.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell. Get your power play amped up with Ewell, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. Ewell.ca, your partner in power.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
The flu bug is definitely going around. So Drew Comesso is going to be the starting goalie for the Blackhawks tonight. And the E-bug will be Dave Nozalilo because Spencer Knight and Arvid Soderblom are now both sick and out of the lineup for the Chicago Blackhawks. So
if I was the coach, I'd go into that goalie room. I assume they have a room dedicated and say, only one of you can be sick. You decide who it is.
Yeah.
When's the last time you heard of both goalies being sick?
I can't remember that. So it's wild though. Yeah. So why not?
E-bugs are the greatest. Whenever they come in, remember the one the Oilers game the other day and they showed the trainer putting his name on the back?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, exciting.
Well, it would be for that. Like, And I think what's kind of fun about it and exciting, and this I think will be the last year because next year teams are going to have their third goalie.
They're going to bring him around?
Yeah, that's part of the new CBA. So they will allocate that. So then the goalie can practice with teams, and then they can they can take warm up. And obviously in situations like this, you would have a third goalie. But they don't count on the roster or on the salary cap. So but they do get paid, right? Like I think it's 100 and some if I'm not mistaken. So hey, you know what? It's a pretty good gig, right? And I'll be curious how some teams, if they put those guys in for dress them in a game or something, sometimes say, hey, we'll dress you's the backup tonight because I know some teams when they have their starter and they fly him to the city early, right? When they're playing back to back, like LA, for instance, if LA had their third goalie tonight. And, Darcy Kemper is playing tonight for the Kings. So you would fly your other goalie and he would come to Edmonton. So he's in bed and he gets a really good night's sleep. Teams have done that before. So I wonder when they have their third goalie, if we see some of them. No, he's not on the roster, so maybe he can't do it now that I say that. So, because that would be obviously changing the rule. But I guess, do you activate him for a game? I don't even know how that would work, if you could do it or not.
Compare and contrast Glenn Hall, Mr. Hockey passed away. Rest in peace.
Yes.
502 consecutive starts. And most games for part of those seasons, he didn't even have a backup, period. Like he didn't have one extra goalie.
Dude, it was
and no helmet?
Different time, man. Like I had the pleasure of meeting Glenn and talking to him a few times and having some questions. It's such a different world back then and when they played. And he was like he hated training camp because you got to remember, he doesn't come in a mask and you're getting all these extra pucks on. He didn't like training camp at all. So there's times where he didn't even go to training camp. So I thought that was a good story. But 502. So I looked it up. He had played because back then they played 70 games a year. So from 1956 to 1962, 7 years, he played all 70 games, every one. Then the next year, he missed 4 out of 70. He played 66, and the next year he played 65. Like it was like that guy. You look at goalies now, like the most consecutive games a goalie has played this year is 8. And he did 502. Like
without a helmet on.
Yeah. It's just such a different. Now, I know that, there were still a few headshots, not as much as now, and I understand it all, but still. But it's just the playing every day. Like now, that's a record of all the records in the NHL. That's the record. Like somebody in 100 years might find a way to break Gretzky's 215 points for 1 year. I know it sounds crazy. I don't think it's going to happen, but 502 consecutive starts, that ain't ever happening. It's not happening. No, there's no way. Never.
Imagine the pressure. There isn't even a backup goalie in the building. Like if you go down, we're just going to have to tell everyone to go home.
Yeah. And also, I'd like to point this out. Tonight in the AJHL for the Whitecourt Wolverines, Sean Martin will coach his 1,000th game as a junior A head coach. So congrats, Sean. That's a good commitment, man. That's a big commitment to junior A hockey. So good for them. Good luck. Enjoy it. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, when do you think the Oilers will call up Szymanski? I watched a few of their games online. I love his game. Do you think he could fill the fourth line center spot? Well, you got to remember, the Oilers are a cup contender. You can't have Savoy. You can't have Howard. Now, if you want to bring him up for a game or two, okay, I could see that happening later in the year. But rookies don't play a lot, and rookies are rarely on playoff rosters. Right? And if they are, they're not like your main guys. So you could have one, but having 3 in the playoffs, like I'm not sold necessarily that come playoff time, you're going to have both Savoy and Howard in the lineup. I know they're there now, and that's great, but I'm just not sold that that's going to be the answer for the team in the postseason. Like the playoffs are different. Everybody knows it, right? And every little play matters. So, you might have guys rotating in and out. You might be able to squeeze 2 rookies in, but it's hard. Now, you can have one rookie that's a contributor. Go back and the biggest one that I can remember, recent memory, was Jake Gensel. He started in the American League that year. Now, he was an older rookie because he came out of college, and he lit it up in the American League until Christmas. And then he came up in the second half. Now, the Penguins had won the Cup the year before, so they had a lot of experience. Now, this Edmonton team has a lot of experience. I know I got a text saying, the Oilers don't have anybody who's won the Cup. Well, so I asked the question. If you go to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final and you don't win and you lose, like, do you have that much more experience because you won 2-1 instead of losing 2-1? Like, it's an honest question. Do I think it matters that much for a team where you're McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent-Hopkins, Nurse, Ekholm, Bouchard, right? So big minute guys, they've all been there. Jake Wallman was there last year, right? You have lots of guys who've been to the Cup Finals. Lots of guys who've been to 2 Cup Finals. So it's a valid question. I just don't know if they need a guy who won. Like, is the winner going to be able to say something? Because a lot of times, like I remember McDavid, and even when Corey Perry came in the first year, they went to the Cup. And even when Duncan Keith came in there, said like they were just able to calm us down, know what to say at that time. So now, McDavid runs really hot, and that's okay. So does Draisaitl. So if you have another voice who isn't your go-to 2 leaders, I think that could help. But I don't know if you have to have a guy who's won a Cup. I don't know if on a team that's been there 2 years in a row, I just don't know if it's mandatory. Do you?
I don't think so. But at the same time, you never win the same way twice, right?
No, you never win the same way twice. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you can bring in a guy, I won 5 years ago or 2 years ago on a different team. Like, for an older team, like, they got a lot of experience. I forgot Zach Hyman's obviously been there twice. I didn't mention him, right? Podkolzin last year, Kapanen last year. Like, they got a lot of guys with experience. So I don't know if it's now where it is interesting is their goaltending. Right now, Calvin Pickard played there last year for sure, but Tristan Jarry doesn't have a ton of playoff experience at all, right? Neither does Connor Ingram, and so I don't know if you need a goalie with the playoff experience either. Like Skinner had not much, and he went all the way to the Stanley Cup Final. Like he had lost in 23, right, in the second round, yeah. So he had a little bit of playoff experience. At least he'd won a series, but then he went all the way to the Stanley Cup Final, and they went again last year to the Stanley Cup Final. So I don't know if you necessarily need it that much or not.
It's not like when coming out of the decade of darkness where you were looking for like the Duncan Keiths of the world who'd been there before. I think the whole team collectively has now been there before. They've built that experience in-house.
Yeah. Hey, Greg's asked the Buffalo Bills that question. Well, the fact the Bills made it 4 years in a row, I know they lost every year, but it's still a major accomplishment in football to make it to the championship 4 years in a row. And like, was it the player's fault that Norwood missed the kick? Like, what if he makes that kick? Like, how does it change everything? Like, do they play a little bit more relaxed? I'll never know. I think there's probably something to that. Like, let's say the Oilers make it to the Stanley Cup Final again. Now, unless it's Florida, the other team they're playing, or I guess unless it's Florida or Tampa, the other team they're playing is not going to have more Stanley Cup Final experience in them. So that could be an advantage. The other team would be excited. The Oilers, there would be excitement, but there's probably would be some pressure that they would have to try to put away because they're like, man, we don't want to go 3 in a row and lose, right? But you at that point, you probably go to your sports psychologist and they do all the things to tell you don't think about that. Like, and the minute you start, you stop. I'm not thinking about not winning. I'm thinking about winning because there's no benefit to think about not winning, right? That's what all the psychologists we've had on the show tell you. Like, there's no benefit to you or your health or anything to think about losing at that point. Why would you? Deal with that afterwards. If you lose, then you deal with losing. Don't think about losing beforehand. Does you no good.
It's good advice.
No. So. Oh, Indiana scored already. It's going to be hard to beat, man. We'll see. Should be a great game. If you're looking for a game to watch tonight, look at that one, Indiana and Oregon. You got Oilers tomorrow. You got Oil Kings tonight. If you want to check that out, the Oil Kings Network. Have yourselves a great weekend, everyone. Please don't drink and drive. Don't weed and drive. Get home safe. Enjoy all the football, all the hockey, some basketball if you're an NBA fan, and we will talk to you on Monday. On behalf of Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson, this is Jason Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. Quality market and gourmet meals. They have over 200 chef-prepared meals to choose from, and now even better, they'll deliver it right to your door. Meals.loca.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
NHL action set to get going in just a couple minutes' time here. Caps and Blackhawks and Kings Jets opening the action. Blues and Mammoth will also play at 7. Scores around the NBA. Celtics lead the Raptors 53-50. Magic lead the 76ers 41-38. Pels lead the Wizards 40-38. And the Clips up 23-12 on the Nets in the first quarter. College football playoff action. Indiana currently leading Oregon 7-0. It was a pick 6 on the first play of the game to score for Indiana. At the junior level, Oil Kings continue their road trip in Saskatoon in the BCHL. Saints host Okotoks out in Spruce Grove, while Chilliwack plays the Crew in Sherwood Park. At the A.J. Devon, Drayton Valley, and Bonneville, all with home games just outside the city. Free agent outfielder Max Kepler has been suspended for 80 games by the MLB after a positive test for a performance-enhancing substance. Anthony Davis will need surgery on his hand with ligament damage and will be out several months. And collegiate sports in the city will see the Griffins men's hockey host Trinity Western at the DCA at 6. The Ukes men's hockey team at home playing Concordia. Puck drop at 6 at the Nate Arena. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CK.